from the Twins yesterday in exchange for cash. The Cardinals just a week away from rookie minicamp. It'll be held next Friday through Sunday. They'll get their first look at first-round draft pick Marvin Harrison Jr. and the rest of their first-year players. Former Texas defensive lineman and Brophy High School product Zach Swanson is transferring to Arizona State. Meanwhile, offensive lineman Rob Lapawaho out of Utah is also committed to ASU for the 2025 recruiting class. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword HAPPY at foxsports910.com. That's HAPPY at foxsports910.com.
Yeah, I saw that email.
Center for all your AC.
I thought it was Dumbass of the Day.
Call Parker.
So I have one in here that's called Dumbass of the Week.
Temperatures once again in those low 90s.
Sure.
For tonight, mostly clear
right now.
with those overnight lows dipping into the upper 60s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by New Vision Auto Glass.
Tired of looking through a windshield with a crack or chip in it?
Get it replaced with New Vision Auto Glass. Qualifying customers can get up to $375 cash back and a free.
It's voiced by Bob. So.
NewVisionAutoglass.com.
It says like the Oscars, the Emmys.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
We made it to Friday. Welcome in. Roc and Manuch with you today, along with Jackson Shu from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price, Wright Toyota. As the D-backs open up a 3-game weekend series with the San Diego Padres at Chase. And how about some football, as the Cardinals are just a week away from rookie minicamp. So welcome in. We are going to talk some baseball today, as well as a lot of other things. Jody Jackson, Diamondbacks pre-post game host, she will join us, get her thoughts on this this Diamondbacks team that is continuing to have some offensive issues. So we can dive into that, as well as some injuries. We've got some college football news to pass along. A lot of Charles Barkley today. So if you're a Charles Barkley fan, you're going to hear a lot of him today. Scott Spreitzer, we'll get some Derby talk and some NBA picks from him. We got our rewind as always, and then a little flashback Friday. Howard Balzer, who comes on our show on Thursdays typically, and many of you may not know, but he was the first to be part of the NFL draft on ESPN. And for 9 years, he was part of that. And we're going to kind of go back a little bit and do a little flashback, have some fun with him, and talk about that. Because I thought it was kind of interesting to go back here. We're just coming off the draft, but to where it all started and what he had. And then talk a little bit about a 19-year-old Mel Kiper, who was basically just doing some radio stuff and sold himself to the Colts because he was a big Colts fan and grew up in Indianapolis. And I know Howard has a story about that too. So we got a lot of good stuff that we'll dive into over the course of the afternoon. But we're with you till 4. We're out here at Wright Toyota. Our phone number, if you ever want to chime in, is 602-260-9191. And our It's Your Call question today on our page, that is Roc and Manuch on Twitter, is do you feel the D-backs will be able to make a wild card run with all the early season injuries? And your two choices are yes, it's early. No, they're already 5.5 games behind. So those are your two choices. Thanks to State 48 Roofing. You know, it's interesting. You look at this D-backs team, you just wonder, hopefully, they got 8, 9, 10 guys on the injured list.
It's crazy.
And then Merrill Kelly yesterday going on the 60-day. And you go, oh, man, with Zach Gallen, looks like he's going to make his regular start here coming up here soon. You just hate to see all that momentum, Rock, that they had coming off that World Series and starting off the year with the initial, you know, they putting up touchdowns. It was the second game of the year. But it just now it's kind of, I don't want to say snowball, but I mean, there's just this big malaise over this team, losing 5 out of the last 7, 5.5 back. Not that they can't scramble, but you just wonder when you lose one of your rotational guys like Merrill Kelly. Zach Gallen had a couple of issues. So you hope that nothing else rears its ugly head, or you start bringing guys up from AAA. How are they going to handle? Can they hold down the fort when you have several of your starters or guys in rotation, bullpen?
I guess Paul Sewell is close to coming back as your closer, very much needed, but just a matter of these starters getting beyond 4 or 5 innings. Montgomery had just had one of those days the other day, only made it through 3-4 innings, and you just got to hope they can hold serve and just kind of hang in there, win a series here and there, just to kind of linger till the All-Star break, and then maybe at the All-Star break, what it sounds like a lot of them, especially Merrill Kelly, will be coming back, can kind of put this thing together and make a run in the second half of the season.
On a national level, the assistant head coaching job is open for the LA Lakers. Yes, the assistant job, as Darvin Ham has been fired. We all know LeBron James is the head coach there, and a lot of rumors right now. Ty Lue and Redick, JJ Redick, and a lot of people are leaning towards JJ Redick because he does a podcast with LeBron James. So it'll be interesting to see if he does land the Lakers job. That is probably one of the better jobs in all of sports, being in LA and having all those resources. But it comes with LeBron James. And what it may come with is, LeBron James's farewell tour, because a lot of people thought maybe he would retire this year. He's been asked, and there's no way he is not going to be part of the farewell tour. He wants to go to every arena. He wants to get the car. He wants to get the watch. He wants to get all that good stuff that comes along
the rocking
with the
chair,
farewell tour. Yeah. So
the Harley.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to be part of that?
I mean, Ham, they go to the Western Conference Finals. They make it as a wild card. They Western Conference Finals last year. They could have beat, they were in every game against the Nuggets, and they get beat. I mean, it's 8 coaches in 14 years that this Laker team has had. And then the guy have been successful, even Frank Vogel. Hell, he won an NBA championship with that team in the bubble, and they let him go about a year later. But yeah, Rock, to your point, I guess the way LeBron feels, allegedly, we can say this, is that team's got some good talent. That team was right there. I just understand. I don't know what Jeannie Buss is thinking, what they're doing. Her marching orders, keeping LeBron happy. To your point, farewell tour, what can we do? I mean, what else can Ham do to get this team after taking them to the finals last year? And with the injuries they had, they finally got healthy to win the play-in, and then they'll take Denver to the mat, so to speak, in 6 games and then lose it. So I guess if you don't win the title, you're out that year. How about LeBron just be the player coach like Bill Russell did many, many, many years ago? Then eventually when he retires after his swan song, become the head coach.
I thought J.J. Redick was going to be the guy in Carolina with the Charlotte Hornets. The guy played at Duke. That is a big ACC college basketball area. They don't draw as well as they probably could there in Charlotte. But, Duke fans love their players. And I can see that being a good home for him, too. But when L.A. is open,
even for – I don't know, maybe you're there for 2 or 3 years, just the exposure you get. But I mean, I got to tell you what, you look at that scenario and that situation, you just go, where's the stability? And I guess, we talk about, coaches get the brunt end of the burden. I will say this, a lot of that blame's got to go on those Laker players as well, too, for him to do what he did the last couple of years. So I don't understand. I don't get it. I think another name out there.
Where's Budenholzer?
Budenholzer?
Where's he at these days?
He's not on a team.
I know he's not
available.
I mean, wouldn't he be a guy that would make?
I was just going to say that. Mike Budenholzer would be a lot of experience.
Mark Jackson, another guy. You need a guy that's pretty savvy with the media as well.
Well, I think you need a guy that's been there and done that. It's not intimidated by LeBron James. They can just call the shots. I don't think Ham was intimidated.
What about Mark Jackson? I mean, he's a former Golden State Warriors coach.
And you wonder,
I believe he interviewed for the job 2 years ago before Ham got it.
Yeah, but I think for some of these guys, like a Budenholzer or Jackson, does that fit what they want to do? Do they want to? If I'm going there, I'm going for a 5-year contract.
Really do? Come on.
Well, I mean,
that's why JJ Redick makes sense, because their podcast is not just a normal podcast, but they break down film and they'll break down certain situations, X's and O's, and LeBron will say, "Hey, JJ, what do you like here?" And JJ will do the same to him. So they already have that relationship, but I just don't think if JJ wants to stop his podcast, stop what he's doing on ESPN, especially being one of the lead analysts he's about to be for the NBA Finals, to just be LeBron's assistant.
We saw Steve Kerr, come out of the broadcast booth to go be a general manager, and then went back in the booth, and when he came back out to be a head coach.
I think Kerr's a little bit of a different animal. I mean, he wasn't doing podcasts. He wasn't a media savvy kind of guy doing all of that stuff.
Wasn't on
JJ's is an ESPN guy. He's the face of the network when it comes to basketball. Kerr, he was he's a GM. He was all kinds of stuff, but he wasn't that guy. Like
he was the lead. He was the lead analyst for TNT. When he was going it.
No, he was never like a JJ Redick. There was doing podcasts and doing social media. It's just the world has changed.
Well, and a lot of guys have come out of the, Doug Collins coaching, went to the booth, came back out of the booth. Guys have come and gone. I mean, I even think it's Steve Nash. Nash going ahead, with no experience going and coaching that New York, that Brooklyn Nets team.
We go on and on with players that have become coaches, and some that have made it work. Isaiah Thomas couldn't make it work. Michael Jordan couldn't make it work. I would say Kidd has made it work.
Well, but Kidd, you remember he was an assistant for a while. Nash wasn't doing anything.
You know who I think the job should be open to, and I don't know if you agree with this, but when I see him interviewed on the sideline at Suns games, he's so articulate and he breaks down the question to another level. It's not like a canned answer, and that's Miles Simon. I just listen to his interviews, Google him, and watch him do his interviews. I'll never forget when I saw him just last week. It was between quarters, and they were interviewing him, and I was like, "Damn, that's a head coach right there. That's a guy that you want." So I'm curious if Ishbia is going to make a change for Vogel. Would you move up a guy like Miles Simon?
Well,
who's got experience at other teams, not just Phoenix.
It's interesting to bring that up because Kevin Young's moving on. He's moved on to BYU. He was the top assistant for the Suns, and I think he might have known that Frank Vogel was going to stay. Otherwise, he might have hung around if there was any kind of trepidation by Matt Ishbia to let Frank Vogel go. Him being second in command, you would have thought that he would have kind of hung around or known something, but he took that ball proverbially, that 7-year contract at BYU. Not that he can't always come back to the NBA. He probably just felt at this point in time, go cut his teeth as a head coach at BYU. And then that NBA opportunities open up. Then he comes out of BYU and does that thing. I think the LA Lakers job is for one of those experienced coaches that can handle LeBron, is not afraid to coach him up, not afraid to do this and do those things. I'm just perplexed why Ham would get fired after what he did the last couple of years. To do the most he could out of that team.
Because that ownership is looking for a scapegoat for the lack of success. And I think Ishbia is going to have to do the same thing with Vogel.
I would say that's going to be very, very interesting how he looks at that.
Would you lose any sleep if Frank Vogel got let go?
No, not at all.
Nobody would.
No, I don't think so.
If that's what most of people are thinking, and Ishbia, who doesn't, it's interesting when he comes and he does his interview. You guys you broke it down the last couple of days, but you don't need to say, "Hey, I'm back here for a couple days," or act like you live here. No one's going to question it really, but act like you're part of the community and you're listening to the sports talk radio guys. You're listening to the podcast guys. You're listening what this community wants. You're not hearing it back in Detroit, right? I mean, I see that, and I'm like saying to myself, that's the first thing that stood out to me after he did that interview the other day. He needed to let us know that, I'm here for a couple days. Really? I mean, why aren't you at your house in PV?
You don't have a second home? Yeah. I think the disappointing thing with Vogel was all this preaching this defense. And we saw one of the worst defenses in the league. Saw the most turnovers in the league. We saw a lot of bad things. Now, the players on the court, I'd like to see him get more energy out of these guys. The malaise we saw during the playoffs. I mean, I get it. The players are ultimately responsible to be able to. They've got to go out there. They got to turn it on. They got to go make things happen.
Dude, I just got a text.
Yeah,
he's one of our sponsors. I don't know. I know he doesn't want me to throw out who it is.
Yeah,
I mean, we have like 30 of them. But this is breaking news. Tom Brady could be the next head coach for the Lakers. The GOAT. That's how bad you massholes are. You just all about Tom Brady. All about Tom Brady. Hey, coming up, it's all about Chris Schubert next. And for New York, it's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
It's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
It's the Marketers Report. Today, Capital One's Chief Brand Officer, Mark Mentry, weighs in on building loyalty with customers.
Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. We will do sound check parties that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and we can't pull that off without iHeart.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating, and of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list, seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at WrightToyota.com.
I've got it. I have a whole setup for this to get back to you.
Time for today's play of the day, courtesy of Document Solutions, leading the valley of business solutions for copier and IT service. Their service can't be copied. 623-252-8282. Now let's get to the play of the day.
But two, he'll toss it in, floats it, heel, throws it up. It's off. It's over. This war of attrition is won by the Knicks. New York advances to the second round in back-to-back years. Highly entertaining series.
Beatty the runner at second, Bader at first. Nobody out. That's down 6-5 in the 11th. To be the real hero here. And he drives one the other way, a base hit. Beatty around third. He's going to score. Beatty racing for third. He's being waved home. The throw to the plate will not be made, and the Mets win the ball game. Francisco Lindor with a walk-off 2-run hit in the bottom of the 11th.
You're hot.
The Mets win it 7-6.
Yeah. New York had a good day yesterday.
They sure did.
Yankees lost, so that was nice too. Dude, I mean, I know the Knicks haven't won a championship since 1972 or 3 or something like that. It's been a long time.
71.
But this was such a good series with Philadelphia. The way it went back and forth. I wish there was more. you get a game. You knew it was going to be a battle going in. You knew this was a great matchup. These two teams hadn't played each other in playoffs forever. The 80s, I think it was, and here they are going at it, and it didn't disappoint. I will tell you that the three papers in New York just nailed it. And this is my favorite. This is the back pages, and Shu, you know the back pages as well. But for those you don't, the New York Post, Newsday, the Daily News, Newsday is New York as well. So three main papers, and they all kind of fight for that back page, and it's always sports, and they always come up with some good taglines. So New York Post has, "It's Christmas in May for New York City as Jalen and company beat the Sixers to earn a date with the Pacers." You got Jalen on the cover, and it says Saint Nick, K-N-I-C-K. And then you got the Newsday saying "Joy of Six," and then this one just kills me, absolutely kills me as a Sixers fan. Knicks finally dispense with Embiid. Philly, Pacers next. The 86ers. How great is that? Oh,
that's classic right there. That's classic.
That's a good night for you, New York.
It is. It has been a lot of fun to airdrop into New York sports radio on a daily basis on my drive home, because you're talking about the Knicks. We just played a cut of the Mets winning yesterday in dramatic fashion. But guys, the Yankees, other than this series against Baltimore, have been playing good baseball. The other team in Madison Square Garden, the Rangers, swept in the first round. They're moving on to the second round. So we, starting on Sunday in New York at MSG, every other night there's going to be something going on between the Rangers and the Knicks. So it's like 1994 all over again in New York for the Knicks and the Rangers both making runs. So it has been a lot of fun to see that play out.
It's been so long for New York City, the biggest city, of course, in the United States, and to have this success. And it's great for sports. It is outstanding because it means that Boston's out there, right? So,
you're trumping Boston. I love it.
Well, because they just think about it. Boston has been so successful in their four major teams for so long.
Yes.
With the Patriots and the Red Sox and the Bruins, and they've had a lot of success. I love this this post. I don't know what this was. Boston Herald. It says Leafs stifle bees, force game 7.
Stifle.
Did I say stifle?
Yeah,
Stifle. Stifle bees, force game 7. Canada dry. It's just perfect.
That is awesome.
I mean, I love the back pages. I wish we had a paper like that. I mean, I you read the paper still, so do I. It's just it's cool about the East Coast, myself, a Philly guy, picking up the Philadelphia Daily News, and you look at that back page and you look at that headline, and these headline writers are just so creative. So creative.
I think of this is a bygone era, guys, going way, way back. But to see what happened in 69 with the Jets winning the Super Bowl, you had the Mets win the World Series, and you had the Knicks win the NBA title. So that 3-year period there, boy, New York City was everything. And I think the Rangers were even were phenomenal in those late 60s, early 70s. Boy, if this era now of this Knicks Jets, they still got a little bit of work to do there, Shu. But I mean, you look at the Mets coming up, but I mean, if the Knicks can lay the groundwork and Rangers and wait for the other two, that's an era where you go, wow, okay. Broadway Joe was on the scene, Joe Namath. You had the amazing Mets, and you had Willis Reed. His last game was pretty much to win that with Walt Frazier and Dick Barnett. And that was an era where New York was on the map every day and night.
I'll tell you what, guys, football's king nowadays, and everybody loves their Giants and loves their Jets. In New York, there is not a championship that would mean more than the New York Knicks winning an NBA championship, because there are people my age who have grown up never seeing their team get anywhere close to that. There are people 20 years older than me who barely remember the Knicks winning a championship. So when you think of all of those teams in that town, the Knicks are by far the team that would generate the biggest buzz, and you can feel it. I mean, again, on my drive home every day, I airdrop in to New York Sports Radio. It is the talk everywhere. That team has taken over that city.
All right, let me ask you, though. I agree. You would know better than I. I grew up in South Jersey or outside of Philly, but I knew a lot about New York. I always thought a Jets winning would be bigger than any other team up there.
So that would probably be number 2 if I was power ranking them. And here's why, guys, because with the Jets, there are the Giants, right? The Giants are there and they have a big enough fan base. With the Yankees are the talk of the town, but there is still the Mets, right? And so you have all of these teams that have a second team in there or a little brother. The Nets aren't that. They don't have that fan base. They were originally in New Jersey. They moved to Brooklyn. They just don't have that groundswell of support. It is overwhelming, Knicks. If you had to break it down, right? Yankees, it's probably 70-30 Yankees-Mets. With Jets-Giants, it's maybe 60-40, 50-50. With Knicks-Nets, it's 90-10, 95-5. Like, it is overwhelmingly a Knicks city, a Knicks town. And so when they are making a run, everybody stops what they're doing to talk about them. And then on top of that, like I said, the Rangers also making a run, winning the President's Trophy. It's been a lot of fun.
Shoot, where would you rank the signing of Jalen Brunson in terms of impact of New York sports?
It's top 5 easily. I would, if I sat down and went through a list, I could probably figure out where it would be. It might be in the conversation for number 1, but it's top 5 without a question, because I don't think when Leon Rose signed Jalen Brunson that they thought they were going to get this player. But Jalen Brunson is a bona fide superstar in this league because he single-handedly carried this team through this series. They lost Julius Randle early in January to a shoulder injury, could never come back from that, had to have surgery. OG Anunoby missed some time, hasn't been great in the playoffs. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo haven't been great in the playoffs. They haven't had that second person step up, and it's been Jalen Brunson, and he dropped another 40 spot last night in a key game for this team because I don't think they wanted any part of a Game 7 this weekend in MSG.
It's so interesting to watch a guy like that played a 6-man role for the Mavs for so many years, to then get the opportunity to take the ball and be the guy in charge and just go off like he's gone off. And he's just and his mannerisms and everything. He's just, I think everybody would want that guy.
The energy that he brings.
Yeah, energy is the word.
Yeah. The other too is the Knicks have been down for so long that even as a basketball fan, you're going, wow, the Knicks are relevant. And you watch these Eastern Conference playoffs. You watch the Knicks. You're going, wow, this kid's done a phenomenal job. But
One more thing.
Eyeballs are on the Knicks because a lot of guys that grew up my era and looking at the 94, the Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing led Knicks, all those, all of a sudden I go, wow, the Knicks are relevant. It's kind of like if there's that football team's been down for so long. Let's just say it's Green Bay Packers. They've been down. So they're relevant. They're like, wow, even non-New York Knickerbocker fans like myself are watching Knickerbockers.
It's the Lions from last year, right? The Lions were down and out forever, and they had a fantastic season, and they put together a team that embodied that city, and everybody that wasn't a Lions and or team in that division fan was rooting for them.
Sure.
And so when I look at this Knicks team, there is a sort of, they embody the city in a lot of ways. Tom Thibodeau asks a lot from that squad. He asks a lot from them.
He's so underrated.
And he's getting the most out of this team, and they now have a date with the Indiana Pacers.
Hey, the play today is brought to you by Document Solutions. Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, 623-252-8282, and get yourself or business a brand new all-in-one printer. Right now, you can buy, lease, even rent many makes and models that work off your smartphone. Again, the phone number is 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied. As for our buddy Greg House. Coming up, Jody Jackson talks with D-backs. It's Rock Sports 910.
Behold. Clear. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Blake Sakota gets the start for the Diamondbacks tonight as they entertain the Padres, who will counter with Dylan Cease. NBA playoffs today, the Cavaliers will call on the Magic, and the Clippers are in Dallas. Cleveland and the Mavericks will close out the series with wins. Darvin Ham has been fired as head coach by the Lakers after 2 seasons and a playoff record of 9-12. In the NHL, Vancouver up 3-2 skates in Nashville, while the Stars ahead 3-2 are in Las Vegas. Cardinals rookie minicamp all set to run next Friday through Sunday. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 10, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at Venezias.com. That's Venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights.
I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, Lerner & Rowe was named the second most influential law firm in the United States. Although we have offices in other parts of the country, Glenn and I both live here and raise our families here. We are your local law firm. No other law firm in the state comes close to the experience, reputation, and results as Lerner & Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck and need a check, call the law firm that can get you the results you need. Call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G Protein Bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G Protein Bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep Jody's there. Family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
You're hot.
Roc and Manuch out here, right? Toyota. Joining us now, Jody Jackson, of course, D-backs, pre, post, does it all, and formerly the Arizona Coyotes. Sorry to go there, Jody, but now that you've had some time to kind of, look back, you feel okay? Things have kind of smoothed out in regards to the departure of the Yotes?
I mean, it's not like the, dagger that I felt, the day they left or the last game. But it still hurts, obviously, and it's still kind of surreal. It's still like hard to believe almost, but here we are. And and I saw them, go up there to Utah, and I'm just, I'm excited for them. I'm gonna miss covering that group of players and coaches. A great group. A lot of memories through the years. And, I hope it's going to be a new chapter for them. And I feel like seeing that kind of made me wonder if just this is a team that really needed that through the years, some stability, and maybe they can take that next, that'll kind of hurt. It'll be bittersweet, but I'll be happy for them if they make the playoffs, and hopefully they will.
What I can't stand now is all the reports of how dysfunctional the organization was. Are you here shortchanging hotels on bills and things like that? And it seems like it's all coming out and how Shane Doan was treated, things like that. It's just unfortunate because all this did not have to happen. did not have to happen.
Yeah, some of it is hard to believe, you
Yeah.
know. Some of that I had heard rumor of, some of it I didn't really know. But you know, Shane Doan, something had to be going on there. He did not, I don't think he really ever wanted to leave. He just wanted to be able to have his talents used in the right way. And sadly, I guess it wasn't welcome, you know. And but yeah, tough, definitely tough. So I hope, and it seems like a lot of people sound confident that hockey will be back in the Valley. It's just a matter of how long that'll take. And I don't think anyone really knows if it's 5 years, 10 years, you know, what it's going to be.
So, Jody, I got to tell you, I thought one of the funniest tweets at all with the beehive was yours. You said pee.
Oh wow!
Loved it, Jody. Look,
I
didn't see that. I did not see
started
that.
BP. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the first one I thought of. It just came to my mind. Now, knowing, you know, and then knowing though that I in reality, I know that B thing, you know, happened in a matter of minutes. Apparently, happens quick, right? But yeah, I couldn't resist the BP pun.
You should be writing for the back pages of the New York Post. You know, I mean, that's some good headline stuff there.
I mean, and then it went on and on and on. I had to, you know, it got a little tiresome after a while, everyone with the B puns, but I think everyone had to shoot their shot, right?
Well, now you look at this team, they've got, you look at all the injuries, you look at the team is 5.5 behind. You just hope that guys start coming back, that Seawald gets back soon, Perdomo and Thomas and all the other pitchers that are hurt here and there or players. And at some point, Jody, you gotta think, man, if they get 8, 9, 10 games back, now we're looking to struggle to make a wild card before the All-Star break. So I know that Tony LaRusso and this staff have got their hands full. What's kind of a game plan B in reference to try to get these guys back on track after losing 5 out of the last 7?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really no plan B. They just have to get it going. They got to start rolling a little bit. They got to start, you know, not only winning series, but, you know, putting together winning streaks. And, you know, I think they can do it differently than last year. Last year, they got out to a lead and then they faded later and then they kind of just barely made it in. Look, baseball seasons come in all shapes and sizes. And I think that they can be, you know, hovering around 500 and then make their push late. But again, you have less certainty there. I mean, they budgeted, you know, a lot of times Tori will use the word, we budgeted for this or we budgeted for that. Last year, they had a lot of equity in that start that they had, whatever it was, 16, I think it was 16 games over 500 before they started to slide. And, you know, this year, when you approach it the other way, I mean, they're not meaning to do it, but it's happening, whether it's due to the injuries or whatever it is, whether it's that maybe there is some truth to being a little tired, certain guys after the World Series run or, you know, whatever it is, you're going to have to make a push later because you're not building, you know, you're not sitting right now at 5 games over 500 or, you know, in May, if they continue along this path, you know, they're not going to have that equity built in of games that you can budget for a losing skid. So it's just less certainty of what you're going to be looking at. So, yeah, they got to turn it on here. And I hope this is a little bit of a reset. Look, you always want to think you can hang and you can win a series against the Dodgers, but they eked out the one win. The other 2 were not great by any means, not good games for them. And so this is a day off. The long road trip, they didn't really get a day off on the back end of that. So they got the day off yesterday and they need to turn it up here. They need to start exerting themselves in the best way they can with the guys that they have.
With that being said, Corbin Carroll needs to turn it up, right? You expect it's just a matter of time?
Yeah, I actually saw enough from him in that Dodger series where I think he might be back to Rookie of the Year, you know, status. I'm not sure, but back to more consistently swinging the bat, making contact, driving the ball here and there. I mean, he's not going to get a hit every time he comes up, but I saw a couple of hits there that give me a lot of confidence in what he can potentially do. So I feel good about that. I'm excited to see tonight and in the series, you know, what he can do because this might have been a turning point for him the other day against the Dodgers.
Yeah, Joey, also good to see Christian Walker, the consistency hitting for average is at 276 with the 7 dingers and was got the 22 RBIs, but he seems to be the pop in the lineup right now. Lourdes pretty much has kind of cooled down just a little bit. Is that a concern right now for Torrey? And they're saying that the only home runs coming from pretty much are from Christian Walker?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they like the pop that they added with Peterson, Suarez. Which, by the way, Peterson to me is just he's been a hoot. He's a funny dude, and he's been keeping that clubhouse light. I think I like him in this lineup, and he's been hitting the ball pretty well. But yeah, it hasn't been the pop maybe that you think. He lets it fly. You see it going foul, but he hasn't hit too many. I think he's got one this year. I should have that in front of me, but I don't. But Christian, on the other hand, what a great moment the other day when Torrey said to him, I guess Christian said after the game, he said, let it fly. And then Torrey said, no, I told him hit it to the effing moon. So, Torrey, that is so Torrey Lovello, right? He's not afraid to say what he wants to these guys. And Christian after the game said that it gave him a little bit of freedom. Like, I forget who was on. Oh, the Ghost Runner was on base and in the extra innings. And so, he said, do you worry there that you just want to put it in play? Do you just want to move the runner? And then Torrey saying that to him gave him freedom to just be himself. And that's what Torrey does really well. So I was like, okay, Torrey Lovello's still got that magic touch with what he's saying to his guys, some of his words in the moment. So that was a good sign because that's what he did. He hit another homer. But yeah, they want to, Lourdes hopefully can get back on track. He has not looked great at the plate. And we saw that last year. He got off to the great start, but it lasted most of the first half. It didn't just last April. And so Lourdes was hot and then been struggling the last 2 weeks. So they do need more contributions. I look at the lineup today. I expect Blaze Alexander, Jock Peterson. These are guys that, not necessarily you're counting on.
1 minute.
Hey, why not? Why not count on them? I mean, these are guys that have to contribute while some other guys are scuffling. And 2 guys, I mentioned Blaze and Jock because they've been really good at the plate so far this season, taking walks or getting hits, whatever they need to do.
Jody, have yourself a great weekend. Thanks for making some time for us today. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, I guess it is Friday. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Yeah, you too. That's Jody Jackson, Arizona Diamondbacks. Nice enough to join us today here on the Right Toyota guest line. Appreciate her making some time for us. Coming up, we will talk about the NCAA that could pay billions to settle an antitrust suit. We also got a record contract that was just signed last night too. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Time to win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yet. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check, call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Done having more kids? Time for a vasectomy? Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM. Most men can even return to work the next day. Purely Vasectomies has 3 Valley locations. They give the option for same-day consultation and procedure. That's purelyvasectomies.com or 844-NO-SPERM.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Walk to lunch, skip the drive-thru and go inside. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
CEOs You Should Know gives you an opportunity to learn from some of the top business executives across Arizona. Hey, it's Jody Ayler, and I'm excited to learn, so come join with me by searching CEOs You Should Know Phoenix on your free iHeartRadio app.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Let's get ready for football! It's football at 50. The latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and your iHeart Radio app.
Yesterday, Kirby Smart became the highest paid college football coach in the country and the first ever $13 million a year head coach. 48 years of age. He has spent 8 seasons in Athens, Georgia. Got to say Georgia because the real Athens is Athens, Ohio, the home of the Ohio University.
Sure it is. Absolutely.
Bobcats. Back-to-back national champions for the Bulldogs. But he has been rewarded. So it's a 10-year, $130 million deal approved by the school officials.
And I wonder, I mean, I know that's his base salary, maybe, Rock, not aside from the shoe sponsorship and all the other stuff.
1.5 in bonuses is he can earn up to.
Man, you know what? You look at that and you go, okay, any of you aspiring coaches out there running to lead that Gypsy's life, there's the goal right there. If you win a couple of national titles and you're consistent year in, year out, can go get those recruits, give them a good salary to come into Georgia, you too could make $13 million a year.
Hey, the NCAA is in jeopardy of having to pay a big price. According to ESPN, the NCAA's national office might be responsible for a settlement expected to be more than $2.7 billion in the House versus the NCAA antitrust lawsuit. Now, these parties have proposed that the national office, instead of the individual member schools or the conferences, would pay for the settlement of past damages over the last 10 years. Now, these payments would go to former college athletes. How about that?
How far back are they going to go? Like
10 years?
10 years? My goodness. I wonder if this, I guess I'd like to know, is that part of the EA sports scenario going way back?
Part of the rights of the name, image, and likeness.
Man, oh man. They're going to pretty much, could you imagine the NCAA
It would have to fold.
I was going to say, filed for bankruptcy.
Yep.
Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy for something like that. I mean, you almost had to see this coming.
You would almost do it now.
Well, here, and maybe they figure, all right, look, the way college football is going right now, college sports. All right, super conferences. All right, you guys have been talking about wanting your own commissioners want to do your own deal. We're going to back out slowly. We're going to file bankruptcy. You guys can take over. Go ahead and have your 3 or 4 super conferences of this, there. All you other FCS, FBS scenarios, you're on your own. You develop your own criteria within your divisions or within your conferences. You can have at it. You can manage this. You can manage that. I mean, if a judge says you owe it and they file bankruptcy, those conferences would have to take over and manage their own way of doing things. And the NCAA would be out. So all the rules and regulations and bylaws would be kaput. I don't see that happening. I don't think that'll ever happen. But they would come to some kind of a settlement or start paying athletes out over the next 20 years. I mean, that's the only way I could see that happening.
There's your football at 50.
$2.7 billion. See, NCAA, if you think you're going to get away with it, you never get away with it.
The new Major League Baseball pitch clock rules are showing some good results so far. The league announced yesterday that the average time of a 9-inning game so far this season is 2 hours, 36 minutes, which is down a minute from last year. The clock, if you recall, was lowered from 20 seconds to 18 with runners on base, but kept it at 15 seconds when the bases are empty. However, the MLB PA, their executive director, the head guy, Tony Clark, claims that the pitch count is an unprecedented threat to the game and points to pitcher injuries as a result.
I'm not buying it.
I don't know if I buy it.
He's just protecting his guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they need an extra. I mean, 2 seconds is going to deter you that much, is going to harm you that much. I think 2.5 hours is great as opposed to 3.5 hours. And it's interesting because you see the attendance is up Major League Baseball right now because maybe folks figure, well, we get there 2.5 hours, 2:45, get in, get out. We don't have to hang around for 3 hours. We can, leave the games at 1:00. We leave at 11 to get there, get home by 4. It's not quite the afternoon that we spent just sitting there watching a game or not getting bored with the game as well.
I think the whole thing is just overrated. I mean, I have never talked to one person, and I worked for the Oakland A's. I worked for the San Francisco Giants AAA team. Not one person has ever come up to me and said, the games are too slow.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, I don't want to go.
If you're going to a baseball game,
you're going to a baseball game.
Yeah, you're going to be there for, whether it's 2.5 hours or 3 hours, you're like, okay, the next 4 hours, leaving, getting there, unless you go watch BP, we're designated to that day or that night. I'm not too concerned about it. But
and you can leave when you leave.
Yeah, but a lot of folks, if they're season ticket holders, I'm sure they're like, wow, this is welcome. We can go, instead of going to half the games, maybe we go to 3/4 of games and we split one half and the other half. I don't know. Maybe it's a newfound enthusiasm for the game if they're only there for 2.5 hours.
Surprised you didn't jump in on this.
Well, he'd sit there for 5 hours. He didn't care.
Yeah, can we
be all
go
day?
18 innings?
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, it's a great innovation for the sport. It's made the sport quicker. It has solved a problem that MLB thinks that they have, while, in my opinion, not infringing on the people like me who will watch a game if it's 17 hours long and it goes into the 24th inning. Like, I don't care how long the baseball game takes. If I'm sitting down to watch the game, I'll watch it. But there are other people who will go and watch a different sport. And Major League Baseball thought this was an approach to fixing it. Now, the pitcher injuries part of it, I think, is interesting. I think it's probably part of the reason why we're seeing a spike in injuries, at least at the start of the season. But it's only been in effect for 2 years, so I don't know if we have enough of a sample size to say, yep, 100%, that is the only thing that is causing this spike in injuries. So I think it's a part of it. Yeah, I'd like to see some more research and more science done and research to tell us if it is a major part of it. But do I think it's a piece of the puzzle? Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to get into this a little bit more in the second segment with Charles Barkley. But, you've heard all the talk about TNT going away and Turner and all the changes. But the Sports Business Journal today just posted a story that the new long-term broadcasting agreement with the NBA is looking at about $76 billion over 11 years. That's 3 times the amount of the current deal. That's $7 billion annually. And it's because Disney, Amazon, all these new bidders that are emerging out of nowhere. Well, not necessarily out of nowhere, but just all coming out. And when does it end? I mean, if they're going to continue to do this, especially with the NBA, that's a quick game. Those games are what?
Sure.
Less than 2 minutes, 2 hours, right? It's going to, I think, NBA, at least for families, it's a more affordable for the most part than going to, say, an NFL game, right? Which is,
I would say, yeah. I'd say
NFL
so.
games are very expensive. Same with hockey. But NBA, you can get a ticket for $25, $50. It's not a bad seat, for the most part. When is it going to get to the point where these teams are going to have to pay even more, or are going to charge us fans even more? I just don't know.
NBA games are for I'd say, middle to upper income families, or even upper. It's getting to the point now. It's like upper. It might be the higher you go, it'll get expensive up there as well. Too.
So where I want to go with this, I was going to do a 180 on you. If they're getting $7 billion from the TV contract,
1 minute.
Why not take care of the fans,
pass it through,
and make the tickets $25?
I would love to see that.
Pass it down to the other. I would love an NBA team saying we're lowering our prices for the 24-25 season.
But then they'll go,
because we just did the $7 billion deal.
How about that? A pass through to the fans. Would that be something that, hey, Matt Ishbia, if you're going to make that kind of money, maybe a pass it through lower.
Because things are great with the Suns. There's no problems.
Nothing to see here whatsoever, right?
No problem there.
Nothing to see here, Rock.
It's
all good.
Oh, man. He is getting blasted.
Rightfully so.
Even 2 days later, he's still getting blasted on the talk shows on national. Hey, Hour number 2's coming up. We'll handicap some of the NBA playoff games as well as the Derby. That's next. Plus, a lot
10
from Charles Barkley. That's Roc and Manuch. Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like Freeform Radio. Search Freeform Radio and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could.
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where
Miller and McDowell, shots it!
Don't let prostate cancer sideline you. Early detection can save lives. Talk to Arizona urology specialists about getting screened. Arizona Urology Specialists. Personal care for life's most personal issues. Visit ArizonaURO.com or call 602-887-2160.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Diamondbacks host the Padres for a 3-game series beginning tonight. Slade Ciccone is on the mound for the Snakes, who dropped 2 of 3 to the Dodgers earlier this week and are now 14-18. Rookie minicamp starts next week for the Cardinals. Arizona will get their first preview of first-round picks Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson. Brittany Griner and the Mercury are just a few days away from tipping off the preseason. The Merc will visit the Seattle Storm on Tuesday in the first of 2 preseason games. They'll then host the Sparks a week from tonight. The regular season starts May 14th. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword cash at foxsports910.com. That's cash at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures once again in those low 90s. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with those overnight lows dipping into the upper 60s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And even cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Roc. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrow.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on
You're hot.
Sports 910.
We can't stop talking about the fact that the NCAA may have to dish out $2.7 billion in a lawsuit that has to do with name, image, and likeness. It's just mind-blowing where they would get the money to go back and pay these former players over the last 10 years. I mean, there's some reports that say this is a 10-year settlement that could cost each power school as much as $300 million over a decade, or do the math, 30 a year. You think Arizona can afford that right now?
No.
Arizona State?
No.
No.
Well, how many schools?
Where would the money come from? It would literally just destroy the system.
Well, the thing that just comes to my mind is when I read this is, okay, going back 10 years, NIL hasn't even been legitimate until the last 5 years, maybe, if that, 4 or 5 years. It's brand new. So what are you going back on? I mean, as far as selling those jerseys the last 10 years from whoever those popular athletes were at those schools, you're selling their jerseys and not giving them any money. Or I think of EA Sports and settlement they had with the O'Bannon brothers and Sam Keller, in reference to using their likenesses for the EA Sports for college. But I'm like, well, wait a second. This has just become legal. So now they're going to go retroactive 10 years and pay this out. So to me, it doesn't make sense, because if it just became a thing the last 4 or 5 years that I can think of, why are we going back another 5 or 6 years in order to scratch that itch? There's got to be more to it than just going back at NIL. Or maybe there was something on the table and guys are starting to complain. Remember that the Northwestern, that group of kids, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, were looking to go ahead and start their own union and organize against Northwestern. By the way, UAB has gone ahead and said, hey, look, we want to unionize or organize. So I'm just confused, I guess, how far back you could go. And NIL has just become something the last several years.
I'm not sure how it works when it comes to scholarships and who pays for that scholarship. So where is that fund coming from? So if a player is given a scholarship, who's paying for that? Is that come out of the school budget, not the athletic budget?
So I always assumed it was the athletic budget.
Okay, and I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
And because from these reports, I'm seeing that a lot of schools are going to add. There are a couple. Two power conference administrators said that they plan to add 100 additional scholarships at the expense of $9 to $10 million annually. I don't know whose expense that is, and then I could see this. If they have to pay all that money, wouldn't they cut rosters because that's less kids they got to pay?
Well, we got to remember there's only so many scholarship kids there.
My point, no, because they're talking about schools being able to expand scholarship to every position.
Okay,
is one route.
Right.
Then another route is cut rosters from 90 to 70 or whatever the number is. Okay,
Well,
100 to
yeah,
70.
I guess
that's. But think about that. If you cut your program 30 players, that's got to equate to a lot of money when it comes to room and board and food and equipment and everything else.
But not all 90 Rock are on scholarship. So you got those 30. A lot of them are PWOs
paying
or just walk-ons.
Yeah.
So I think the number you're looking at is how many actual scholarships there are for that team. How many are being used? Heck, if the whole college football realm is being set up almost like a quote unquote minor league football, if you will, who's to say because of what you're talking about here that there aren't cuts? Okay, you're on scholarship. We're just not getting the most out of you. There could be schools. Then I think a lot of scholarships are year by year. They can say, you know what, you're just not working out for us. We're going to cut you. Now, whether they feel that or not is up to them. I think you can see a pro model like that with all this money going into the programs. I mean, that'd be very interesting. I think it's wrong if they do that, because if you tell a kid, hey, we're putting on a 4-year scholarship and you're staying, that you honor that scholarship. But then again, it could turn into just like pro sports. We don't think we're getting the value out of you anymore, so we're going to let you go.
Yeah, I'd really like to kind of find out and expand on this. We may have to bring on an AD, a former AD, and just kind of get a better understanding. So whatever happens here, if it does go down this road, over the last few days, the Fiesta Bowl has hosted, and I've been part of it, it's called a summit where athletic directors and head coaches are in town and they're having meetings. And like I was fortunate yesterday to play golf with the commissioner of the Southland Conference, which is FCS. And just hearing his, challenges at that level. Of course, that's like NAU, Montana. But also, I asked him, I said, when it comes to transfer portals, and because that's a big deal. But when it comes to NIL, he has to deal with that too. And he said there's about a handful of schools. And I go, what kind of money do these guys get at that level? And he goes, 10 grand here, 50 grand there, opposed to you hearing $1 million at FPS. But I was just I was interested in how the FCS works opposed to FBS, but that division, I asked him, I said, do you ever see any of these schools starting to get gobbled up? And he said, no, I don't, but I do see, and I kind of finished the sentence, 2 power conferences. He goes, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Unfortunately.
But so what I'm getting at is all these administrators have been in town. They're having their meetings, and Big 12 was here. Everybody was here. And I talked to Hancock. Yeah. I said hello to him.
Oh, Bill.
And and basically, they have these meetings, and of course, there's some fun of as well to get to come to Arizona. This time of year with the weather, it's just absolutely perfect.
I think you put yesterday on the line of you're talking about what you're doing to kind of explain that these administrators and coaches, the way this road's going, to have some kind of a collective bargaining agreement with the players. And I think what I took out was, okay, if we're going to go down this road, you players, if it's got to be a two-way street, because I think what you had in there is, okay, if we're going to work this out with you, you have an NIL deal that you are obligated to go ahead and play through the entire season. That includes the bowl games and includes the playoff games, whatever. And I think that's great, because if these players are going to get paid, that they have to be obligated in order to go through the entire season and go to the bowl game or go to the playoff game. And if they decide to opt out at the last second, then okay, you can opt out, but you're not going to get your money. You're not going to get your
that
you
makes
know,
sense.
I like that going, okay, this is going to hold the players' feet to the fire because it's not fair for guys that have been with you the entire season. All of a sudden, they're going to opt out and say, look, yeah, we're done. You guys go to the bowl game. We'll be without you. If I'm a teammate, I still want to win that bowl game.
Yeah.
If I got 2 or 3 of my top players, it's unfair to that team. But I like that concept of holding their, if here's the agreement, it's like a contract. You got to play that entire year, not an opt out for a bowl game or a playoff game to make sure you collect the money. So I think if you tie that to it, and folks, for you out there listening right now, some of your top players, if they're going to come to the Fiesta Bowl and you're all excited, all of a sudden J.J. McCarthy had decided to sit out. So I'm good. I'm going to go to the. That just puts what would you put, a doldrum on that Michigan fan base. So I like that concept.
Yeah, it was interesting to talk to some of these guys and gals that are out of their element. They're not on television. It's a setting where you're just hanging out, having a cup of coffee or whatever, a drink, and ask how the sport, how the industry has changed, and it is just the answers, you feel so bad. I always aspired when I was younger to be an athletic director. That's got to be the hardest job in sports. Give me a job that's harder than that right now.
A lot of balls to juggle, Rock. It's a lot of balls
you are
to juggle.
A fundraiser.
Yep.
You have so much compliance BS that you have to deal with. You have a chancellor or a president of your university that you have to deal with. You have a fan base if you're at a school that is on your 24/7
fanatical.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. I will say one more thing because I know we're up against it. Everyone I talk to does not understand why Arizona State has not put somebody in that seat.
I was just going to ask you that, Rock.
And these were multi-level professionals in our industry, coaches. It's just mind-blowing. And I will tell you this though: some of these people I talk to have current positions, and I'll say it's a great job. And I hate where they say it a lot, a sleeping giant.
Yeah,
but they say it a lot. But it's because the market is so big.
1 minute.
You're in the 5th largest market in the country.
You are.
You have some resources in your backyard from alumnus that run certain businesses in our city. It should be a slam dunk to sell.
They'd love to have the challenge, what it sounds like to me. But I am, as you were sitting there finishing your sentences, I was sitting there thinking, what are their thoughts about no ASU athletic director at this time? School year's coming to an end. It's winding down. And there's still no AD at Arizona State University.
It's
baffling.
It really is. Hey, Charles Barkley calls out the cowards in our industry, in the media, especially defending Frank Vogel. So we got some classic Charles Barkley next. It's Fox Sports 910.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Company. Get closed-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And now, the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable. and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
An all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Imagine it's the middle of summer in Phoenix and you're enjoying a beer on the patio or maybe a family dinner outside. Didn't think it was possible? It is with Plum Smart and their #1 outdoor cooling system, which right now you can get 35% off installation. Their advanced high-pressure misting system can cool your outdoor patio space by up to 25 degrees. To get a free quote, call Plum Smart, 480-654-8865, or go to itsjustplumsmart.com. Because plumbers and AC guys charge too much.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Also, you said you wanted to say something. Coaching.
Yeah, part of our job, we watch all the games and we watch all the talk shows. A lot of these people on television, they're cowards because they want the players to like them. They don't want to do their job, which is to tell the truth. And I just want to say this about coaching. Anybody who thinks the reason the Lakers suck is because of Darvin Ham or the reason the Suns suck is because of Frank Vogel, you don't know what you're talking about. Frank Vogel is a hell of a coach. Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach trying to get his career started. But for all you punks, idiots, and jackasses on other networks who want to be media and who want all the players to like y'all, do your damn job. The Lakers suck and the Suns suck because of the players. Has nothing to do with the coaches. I feel better now.
Here, I can tell. Looks like you are getting that off your chest.
I did. I hate it, man. You sit there like Darvin Ham needs to get fired. Frank Vogel needs to get fired. Who put them teams together? Them trash-ass teams put together need to get fired. Them guys, they didn't just all of a sudden suck as coaches. People who put them teams together, they start packing up their stuff.
Charles, calling out the media. Good job.
Calling out the management for the Lakers and the Suns as well, too.
I think
at the very end.
For all you punks, idiots, and jackasses on all the other networks, that's just great. I mean, Charles being Charles, and it's funny because when he talks, we listen.
Well,
and we all do. It's crazy, and that is why he is just bigger than life when it comes to being in the media, and how smart he was to put an out clause in his TNT contract, because it looks as though they're going to lose the rights there. It may go to NBC, may go to Warner Brothers, Discovery. Who knows what's going to happen here, where it may end up. But, he was on ESPN Cleveland's The Really Big Show, and he said that he put an opt-out in his contract because he knew Turner could lose the NBA after the next season. And listen carefully on how he basically said he covered his ass.
Yeah, obviously we saw it, and it's a really big deal, obviously. But I covered my ass, to be honest with you, and I put out an article today with Andrew Marchand in the New York Times.
Yeah,
I just signed a 10-year deal 2 years ago, but one of the things I did, I put an opt-out after a couple years in case, because I wanted to make sure I covered my ass when it comes to this situation. if I wanted to go to Amazon or because we thought it was going to be Apple, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So the one thing I did in my new contract, I'm 2 years into a 10-year deal. And when I sit down, I said, wait a minute. Now, if you guys lose the NBA, I want to make sure that I can get out of here.
Right.
And so I am actually in a really great position.
It's Charles Barkley on ESPN Cleveland on the really big show the other day. Now, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaq all have similar opt-outs. Now, it has been reported Ernie's not going anywhere. He will stay at TNT, even if the NBA doesn't. So he is not going to be a free agent like Charles and the other guys. The question is, will they be able to, whoever it is that buys this, to create another inside the NBA team?
Yeah,
because it is arguably the best show on television.
Absolutely.
And how do you? I think you could get another driver, which is what Ernie is. I think you could put Jackson there, and it still would be an awesome show.
How do you mimic what they're doing right now?
Not the same with Ernie, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Ernie, but I know you met him, so you have a different take on him. I've met him many years ago, but that role can be filled by anybody. I just hope they don't go down the road like ESPN, where they put a person. I gotta be PC. They put a person in the position that didn't play the sport.
Let's put it this way, it doesn't resonate with the male fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't need to be a pretty face.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
And
put another. There are a lot of Ernie Johnsons out there. Even though Ernie is top of his game or top of the profession, but there are guys that are just as good as him that could just take over the Mercedes and cruise.
Well, I will say this though, but yeah, he knows how to drive and push the buttons for those individuals.
And you don't think somebody else could do that?
Well, no,
after,
I do.
After the word of the month, chemistry. Like the Suns can't figure out chemistry with the big three. I mean, it doesn't that long.
Well, and there might be. I mean, all that means, yeah, there's some very talented individuals. I think what you're getting at, but I mean that show sets the tone for the game. I mean, I look forward to watching the pregame and the halftime and then the postgame just to hear, the banter between Shaq and Charles and then Kenny, the guys going back and forth and then going off the wall. I mean, that is, you think of, pregame shows and postgame shows in any sports. That's one of the top right there. I mean, that is by far the top. Hey, folks, I'm a football guy. Trust me. That TNT with those guys, to me, hands down, is the best.
Those are great jobs. And, I like Boomer Esiason. He's out at CBS. That's his choice. He's going to be just staying with WFAN in New York, where he's got the morning show there, and he's making so much money. And he does a lot of he has another show he does. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it's like a sit-down, one-on-one type show.
Yeah.
So, it's –
well,
it would be a miss.
Phil Simms is out as well this year. I know that Matt Ryan and J.J. Watt are going to replace both of them.
J.J. Watt, I think, is the up-and-comer, and don't be surprised you see Kelsey up there doing a job.
Yeah,
too.
he's trying to get ESPN. ESPN's trying to get him for Monday Night Countdown.
Yeah,
which would be phenomenal.
That'd be great. Do you think it could be up there with the Peyton program's not going anywhere?
No.
So today,
No.
today it was announced. And I don't know what he has done, but this guy has just been absolutely blackballed for whatever reason. I know he's got a little bit of a history, had a little encounter here in Arizona a couple of years, but Michael Irvin, he is now out at the NFL Network. He is completely out. He played a huge role in that pregame show on game day morning. And of course, he was sent home. If you remember last year, or when the Super Bowl was here, he denied any wrongdoing. I don't think he's gotten in trouble for it.
No,
he's
it
been
was
accused for some lewd comments to a woman, and
the case
I don't know who to believe anymore.
Well, the case was dropped. They found out that was not pretty much as it turned out. So he was exonerated on that. So he came back, and I'm surprised because talk about a guy that's got energy, the enthusiasm for that morning show.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
He's phenomenal. So I don't know what some of these execs are looking for, maybe more of a low-key approach, but he's the kind of guy who would stir the pot and bring that energy to that morning show. And I mean, Kurt Warner and Rich Eisen, they all do a great job. Don't get me wrong, but Michael brought a little more. I don't know, energy, or I don't want to say hood, but just more street smart, street savvy, street talk, without going down that road. I love that. This guy, this guy, that. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get picked up. Someone will get jump on that.
But you would think he'd go back to ESPN, but the NFL and ESPN are they're hooked.
Yeah.
Well, he left ESPN too.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
First
I can't see him
take.
going back.
Yeah.
So I mean, he may end up on an Amazon or a Discovery or whatever. Hey, one more clip. This is Charles Barkley, Patrick Beverly, who is going to be our dumbass of the week month a little bit later in the show. But here is Charles has some pretty harsh words for him after tossing the ball at the fans the other night.
Tonight, it appears, we don't know the circumstances, but it certainly appears he crossed the line.
Oh, he hit that lady in the head.
Throws a ball in the stands.
He hit that
ball
lady
back, and he fires it back.
Oh, he gone. He gonna get suspended.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, he hit that lady in the head.
That'll be next.
Obviously, he was trying to hit that guy. It don't matter who he was trying to hit.
Yeah.
You can't hit no lady ever.
Yeah.
And then
you can't throw a ball at a fan.
I understand that, but you're like, listen, I've done stupid stuff, and and I got criticized. That's just wrong. He gonna get suspended for that, and that's gonna be a good one too, because he didn't do it once; he did it twice.
Yeah, no doubt. Don't expect that from a 35-year-old, 12-year veteran.
I don't expect that from an 18-year-old. That's just stupid.
We're coming.
Patrick Beverly's got some issues. Yes, I get it. And I love that he hammered because Patrick Beverly got some serious issues. That guy needs some help.
You kick out guys for gambling. I get that, but if there's a player that you should kick out of the league, it's that guy.
Well, and
he's just such a.
And Draymond Green's right there on thin ice, Rock.
Yeah.
He's the other one. Those two.
And I don't know why someone won't take charge. Why can't Adam Silver put his foot down and just say, I don't want this in my league. I don't want this. He has the power to kick him out.
Well, here's because you got the CBA, you got their NBA CBA to protect. You've got levels of punishment.
Punishment. I get that.
Yeah. So if he does that
even
again,
at the CBA, when you get to the point where you're the CBA, say, we don't need our guys doing this.
Well,
it's not like it's a one-time thing. He's constantly doing.
I think with Draymond, the suspension he had this year, I think the next one, and he is out or he's out for a year. Like Major League Baseball, with the steroid situation, they have a ladder, a stepping stone as to the amount of time suspended. But yeah, I mean, he's totally off the off his rocker.
Hey, Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always at learnerandrow.com. They can help, get a free consultation. Again, one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. By the way, last Friday, unfortunately I missed the show. I haven't missed a show in a long time.
Not a long time.
And,
you needed a break.
We had the 11th annual Learner and Row Gives Back golf tournament, and we raised over $1 million for the community. 2 years in a row.
Congratulations.
2 years in a row, we've raised over $1 million, all going back into the community. Phoenix Children's Hospital being one of them. So just hats off to anybody that's listening that actually played.
Congratulations.
And what the best part about it was Wright Toyota sponsored two holes, a 4Runner and a Camry. And a guy hit a hole-in-one, won a Camry. He works in the digital department at ABC 15. This is the second hole-in-one he's ever had, but he gets it and wins himself a car.
Nice.
How great is that?
So he just pays the taxes and he drives off.
Yep, gets a brand new Camry. How awesome is that?
Nice.
Hey, coming up, handicapper Scott Sprites, DocSports.com. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. We are at Wright Toyota. It's Fox Sports 910.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
It's the first of three for the Diamondbacks and the Padres tonight. Slade Ciccone will be on the mound. The Snakes dropped 2 of 3 to the Dodgers earlier this week. They're now 14-18 overall. Rookie minicamp starts next week for the Cardinals. It'll begin on Friday and runs through Sunday. Arizona will get their first look at first-round picks Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson. Freddie Griner and the Mercury just a few days away from tipping off the preseason. They'll visit Seattle Tuesday in the first of 2 preseason games. They'll then host the Sparks a week from tonight. The regular season begins May 14th. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
There's something that binds us all, the constant hunger to improve, the obsession with every detail. and the reward of a custom fitting, taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part, we don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, has been cooling their customers for over 35 years. Fogco provides their customers with results that exceed their expectations, with reliable misting and fogging solutions that you can count on all summer long. Head to fogco.com.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Scott's good to go.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Stop letting your bladder call the shots. Talk to Arizona urology specialists about frequent urination and take control today. Arizona Urology Specialists. Personal care for life's most personal issues. Visit ArizonaURO.com or call 602-887-2160.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From DocSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
That's right. We do it every week. We are very fortunate to have Scott Spreitzer for DocSports.com on with us to break down some games. You can always follow him on Twitter or X at Scott Wins, and always check them out at DocSports.com. But let's get to, we're going to do 3 NBA games. We got Cavs, Magic, Clippers, Mavs, Timberwolves, and Nuggets, and then we'll get his take on the Kentucky Derby as well.
Sounds good.
All right, Scott, let's go with the Game 6 Cavs and Magic to get us started here. And this series is 3-3, right? No, it's 3-2. 3-2, excuse me. 3.5, it looks as though the Cavs are getting. How do you see this one kind of going?
Yeah, about 95% of the books have it at 3.5. Couple still at 4. That's where it was last night, but it has come down a little bit. But just watching this series, I mean, the Cavs they found Orlando's size tough to deal with, and if they don't have Jared Allen tonight, if he can't go for a second straight game, or he's well below 100% healthy, then the issues, I think, for their size problem is magnified. He didn't practice yesterday, by the way, Jared Allen, and he's currently listed as questionable. Just look at this Magic team. I mean, they're 31-12 at home this year. They're 21-6 against the spread as home chalk, and they've won 6 in a row at home. And they not only won those games, but they wiped out their opponents by 22 points per game, as we saw against the Cavaliers in the 2 games in Orlando already. And I was kind of looking at the Cavs a little bit. They've been bad as a road dog this year, 6 points or fewer. When they're a road dog of no more than 6, I mean, they're 1-6 the last 7. They've covered just 9 of 30 as a road dog in that price range. going back 30 games. And then without Allen, if he can't go, or again, if he's not completely healthy, then I think they're going to be hard-pressed to deal with Orlando's size again. If you look at what Orlando's done in the last 3 games on the glass, you can really see where that advantage comes in. They're plus 37 in rebound margin in the last 3 games combined. So I lean Orlando here minus the points. I think they get the job done and move on.
Scott, the other night game tonight, Clippers at the Mavericks. Mavs are minus 8.5. The over-under, interesting, 208.5. I thought that might be a little bit higher with these run-and-gun teams getting up and down the court.
Yeah, as series go on in the playoffs, we always see the teams getting more and more intense on the defensive end of the floor, and you usually see those totals dropping. So I didn't play it, but I would lean towards the under here. I think the Clippers, they're not playing well on the offensive end, and when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, they can overcome it. But, of course, Leonard is listed as out again tonight, which means the offense will probably struggle again. And the biggest thing about the fact when Leonard's out is the perimeter defense falls off too. He's such a great perimeter defender. It's been really simple, guys, in this series. I mean, in the 2 games the Clippers won, they went 18 of 29 and 18 of 36 from the 3-point line, 36 of 65, 55% in those 2 games combined, and they led at the half 56-30 and 66-49. But if you take those 2 halves out, those 4 quarters, Dallas has outplayed them in most of the other 16 quarters in this series, and they come in a money-making 38-23 against the spread against teams that allow their opponents to make at least 46% of their field goals on the season. And without Kawhi, it's even magnified on top of that. So, listen, it's a lot of points. I ended up betting Orlando. I haven't bet this game, and I probably won't, but it's a lean on Dallas and a lean on the under. That 8 just feels about 1.5 points too high to me.
Scott, I mean, you guys look at anything and everything, right? So with Luka, obviously he's going to get his, but the combination of Luka and Kyrie Irving, on average combo to cover some of these bets or win these games, is there such a stat or is there such a commonality as to how much they're scoring combined to cover these games?
I look at, obviously I want them to get a certain, I look at points, assists, rebounds.
Okay.
That 3 combo combined. And I like to see how players are doing in games they've won and how much it's dropped off in games they lost. And I'll give you a perfect example. Last night, Tyrese Maxey had a bad night, points, assists, rebounds. I went against him last night. He had to score 46 points and have a combined 60 points, assists, rebounds in the previous game for Philly to win that game and eke it out. And that was over 24 points higher than his normal points, assists, rebounds. Normally he's around 36 and he had 60. And I thought there's no way this guy comes out and does this again 2 nights in a row. And fortunately he didn't. The Knicks got the win. So that's what I look for. When these 2 guys like Doncic and Kyrie Irving can be around their season averages, points, assists, rebounds combined, and they're winning games in doing so, then I continue to play those teams. I do believe they win this game tonight. It was just a little bit too high for me to stomach a bet on them.
Scott Spreitzer here on Fox Sports 910. Scott, I went on the Star Tribune, which is the Minnesota paper, and they did a really cool breakdown between the Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets had 1 more win all year than Minnesota, but when you look at when you look at rebounds, they were the same. Blocks both 5, steals both 7. I mean, you look at 3-point percentage, 39% of 37%, 2-point, 55 to 56, and so on. They are so close stat-wise, okay, on paper. But as a handicapper, does that play into how you handicap this?
Sure. I mean, Minnesota's no pushover, and I know I ripped the Suns for that series, but I kept saying I don't want to take too much away from Minnesota, by saying the Suns were bad. Minnesota had a lot to do with that. We're talking about the team that's number 1 in defensive efficiency for the entire season in the NBA. And when I think about that, I'm thinking, boy, that plus 250 or 300, plus 300 as far as Minnesota in this series, it's tempting to take that plus money, which, they have to obviously win a couple of games in Denver, but they can get that done. I think what's going to happen in this, and so it does factor in what you're saying, all those numbers, especially when they follow it up with being such a great defensive basketball team. And it's going to be interesting to see how they work Conley and Alexander Walker in this first game, and then how they make adjustments over the rest of the series. I like Minnesota tomorrow in the first half, plus 2.5. 4 of the 5 Cleveland starters averaged more than 39 minutes per game against the Lakers. And then you had KCP, who averaged over 35 minutes in that series. And I look at Minnesota, they're so good on defense that if Denver doesn't get out to a good start, they're going to be in this game the entire way. And if you saw Denver against the Lakers would jump out early. First quarter, first half, Denver would make a run. I think Minnesota is going to jump out early in this one in the first half. And one quick note about this, they enter this on a 4-0 straight up and against the spread playoff winning streak, obviously. And those teams that have done that,
3.
are actually 15-9 in the second round, straight up the last 24 times, 15-7-2 against the spread in round 2. So the T-Wolves, to me, are a decent play, at least in the first half on Saturday, maybe even a series play. As much as I like Denver and love the way they're coached and love the way those teammates all know their roles, I still think the T-Wolves have a good fighting chance here.
How much do you get into the Derby?
I like the Derby.
Yeah.
I'm not as big of a horse player as I used to be. I'm not playing it every day.
Okay.
I kind of dabble, obviously in the Triple Crown and in the Breeders. I like the Breeders' Cup. So it keeps my interest that way. But I'm not sitting in the race books as I used to maybe 15, 20 years ago. I really think this is going to be a situation, guys, where if Fierceness gets out early and isn't held back in a pack halfway through this race, then he and jockey John Velasquez will drop the clutch and blow the field away. However, if it's not clear, it's funny. I was talking to a handicapper who's down in Phoenix, Doug Upstone, good friend of mine. We were talking about the fact that Fierceness is feast or famine. If it gets caught up in a pack, it seems like it loses interest in the race and can drop way back, So you got to put up with that. But right now he is the favorite. My long shot isn't so much of a long shot anymore. That's Honor Marie, which was 20-1 yesterday. I wouldn't be shocked if it's down to 10-1 by the time this race goes off. I do like Honor Marie in a head-to-head matchup over Just Steel. And I'm opening my Circa app here to see what the number is right now. 130. Honor Marie's a $130 favorite over Just Steel in a head-to-head matchup, but I do like Honor Marie there. If Honor Marie has a clear path, he's got the speed and the mentality to hang in this field and potentially break into a top 3 money-making finish. So I think Honor Marie's not bad. If you can get, still 12, 14, 15-1 by race time tomorrow, I don't think it'll be that juicy. Fierceness, again, to me is, obviously the chalk. And one more quick note on this race. There's a prop out there. First quarter mile, over-under is 22.8 seconds. And I like it under, even if it's raining, because Fierceness is going to break for the lead and push the tempo in this race. And I think even if it's raining on this at the Derby tomorrow, it's going to be a situation where that first quarter mile finishes under 22.8 seconds.
I love it. Oh, Scott, love you, man. This is good stuff. I'm writing it all down. So we're good. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, same to you guys, man. Take care.
Scott Spreitzer. I love when they took the Derby. The book opened at 7:30 yesterday morning, and you can go in to go Arena Sports Grill. They have the books. So you can go there right now, and they'll start getting like tomorrow morning. I think they open at 7:30. 8 o'clock, just to take bets for what, 4 o'clock, right? Sure, 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Folks coming in,
and it really does. It really brings so much money into the bars.
I like that little prop there. If you don't know much about
a great
racing,
prop. I like that prop.
Whether it's raining or not, 22.8 seconds for the first quarter mile. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about these horses. I'll go with that.
Hey, coming up is our dumbass of the day. Patrick Barkley next here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Wright Toyota.
I'm a attorney in a row. I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Still need the best Mother's Day gift idea? It's a vasectomy. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM. Most men can even return to work the next day. Purely Vasectomies has 3 Valley locations. They give the option for same-day consultation and procedure. That's purelyvasectomies.com or 844-NO-SPERM.
Are you looking for a change in your career path or just looking to get back into the employment market again? Look no further. All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings are in the areas of customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. If you're looking for a challenging yet rewarding opportunity, a great benefits program including 401k program with a generous company match, and a company that is a leader in the industry, apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call All City's HR department at 480-833-7278. All City Towing is Arizona's largest towing transport vehicle storage provider. Locally owned and invested within the communities they service. If you enjoy helping others by providing great customer service, working as a team, and possess great communication skills, All City is for you. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278. That's allcitytowing.com.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 draft, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
The waves were muddy and fierce as could be when my lady and I got lost at sea. We tossed and turned and we nearly drowned when my brave little boat went down. Whoa, 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 no, none of that's true. You haven't had a date in a year or two. The sea was calm and the sky was clear and you crashed right into the pier.
Yeah, fine. Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. There's the Oscars.
The Oscar goes to?
The Grammys and the Emmys.
And the Emmy goes to?
But there's one award that acknowledges the stupid in our world. Here's Rock's Dumbass of the Week.
This guy can win it every week. Absolutely every week. And he's not getting it for throwing a basketball into the stands, which you may think, Patrick Beverly. It's how he treated a female reporter after the game. And we're going to play it. Listen carefully, as he will not allow this reporter to ask him any questions because she's not subscribed or following his podcast.
Here. I'm sorry. Before I finish. You subscribe to my pod?
Do I subscribe to? I do not.
So you can't interview me then. No disrespect.
Jamal is here.
You subscribe? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Again, there were a couple times within a bucket or two. In previous games, y'all have been able to kind of get over that hump, or maybe. Was it anything they did in particular, or was it just one of those where the bucket didn't go down, there wasn't the stop, they made one? What kind of prevented that you all from being able to get over, kind of like you have in the past?
Still move that mic, please, or just get out the circle, please, for me, please, ma'am. If you're not subscribed to my pod, I appreciate it. Thank you.
What a jerk. I mean,
what a
to refuse to talk to a reporter who isn't subscribed to his pod, not podcast, right after he threw a ball at an Indiana Pacers fan during that elimination game for the Bucks. It's such a bad pattern of behavior that it should not be accepted in that sport or any sport. And Adam Silver, and I don't care about your stupid you as a former player, Players Association.
Well, I'm not supporting. I'm just telling what they've got protection.
but it sucks that they have that
I
protection.
agree. I'm just telling you.
There needs to be something.
I agree
That's
with
a bylaw that says if you're an a-hole, you get kicked out.
Right. And he will. I can almost guarantee you that kind of behavior will be. There should be a suspension there. It's unfortunate he can't suspend him longer than what's agreed upon. I think what you're getting at, I'm getting at, is okay. Yeah, I'd love to see the guy suspended for a whole month at the beginning of next season, because that's when that will happen, since they lost last night. But they've got stipulation as to how much. I mean, it's like Draymond Green. I mean, you looked at him this year and enough's enough. They should have suspended him the rest of the year, but they couldn't because of the bylaws and the CBA that they've agreed upon. I think they should go back and revisit and say, at the next CBA, that we will look at it as a case by case. If these infractions are laid out there, here's what it's going to be, and they live with that. I mean, he's a double indemnity from throwing the basketball and acting like a jackass, that reporter in that locker room last night.
You know, and then when
it's a double whammy.
And when he threw the ball to the fan was yelling Cancun on 3. And that all stems from inside the NBA.
Funny. That's funny.
The whole thing with Galveston and Charles and Lakers and the memes that are out there with all the Lakers, all out there in their cars driving to Galveston or Cancun. It's just good stuff. But he's such a jerk.
If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. It's part of it. You enjoy the cheering, but if people are going to jeer you, whatever, just ignore. I always tell guys, ignore the noise, man. Move on.
I don't know if you can with this guy.
Well, and that's the problem. This kid's got
Draymond. They're both just.
Well, there's some major issues there with Beverly. There always has been. Jackson and I talked about in the Western Conference Finals a few years ago when he pushed CP3 in the back. I mean, just clocked him. He didn't even suspend hher for that. So these are scenarios where that kind of behavior cannot be tolerated. And yes, we love to have him suspended, but there's that protection from the CBA. Unfortunately.
All right, some random facts of the day here for Sports Bar Gossip here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Star Wars. Did you like Star Wars?
Yes, I did.
Well, Finance Buzz wants to pay someone $1,000 to watch all 9 Star Wars movies in the Skywalker saga. And it's 25 hours, 7 minutes. And they will also throw in another $100 to pay for some snacks.
Okay.
And if you need some streaming fees. But it's for someone who's never seen it. And then you have to basically rate it.
Yeah.
And then talk about it in in a blog or some sort. But got to be 18 to apply. And I just Google Star Wars. May the 4th be with you, because that's tomorrow. So you have till tomorrow to do it. But I just thought that was like, I don't know. I got $1,000. It's not that great if you break it down per hour.
I saw the first.
I mean, really.
I
can pick up a job doing something for a lot less.
And then finding somebody that's never seen them, not familiar with the trilogy, that wants to go and watch them. So you might get a high school, 18, get a college kid that maybe they're part of. They're getting their degree in cinematography or whatever. I watched the first 5. After that, I lost track. The prequel to the sequel to the prequel. I mean, I just lost track into where things were. But the first 5 were pretty good, very enjoyable. I enjoyed I enjoyed the special effects, but I enjoyed kind of the chronological order of going forward and then to where things ended up. But after that, I got lost.
You said 9 movies, Rock?
I said yes, 9.
So that means they're not going to make you watch Solo or Rogue One, which are 2 of the better ones in the entire trilogy, in the entire series, to get you up to 11. So they're making you watch the original 6 that came out way back when, and then the 3 that most recently came out. But they're skipping Solo and Rogue One.
It says here that they want you to start with episode 4.
Well, yeah, because that's release order 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 8, 9 is how they were released.
How do you know this?
Because I like Star Wars.
Okay.
So 4, 5, 6 were the theatrical releases. So you can watch them in theatrical order, which is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then it would be Solo, Rogue One, 7, 8, 9. I think is that how that would work? I think Rogue One might be in between.
Right.
He's 100% right.
Bad random fact today. How about this one? What's the best option for breakfast sandwich? Can we switch? We're not talking Star Wars.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
So here's what they're doing. something that went online. They're asking, what's the best?
3.
What's best for a breakfast sandwich? Is it the English muffin? Is it the bagel or the toast? So if you're ordering a bacon, egg, and cheese, which where I grew up, that was, you would go to in Philly, you go to one of those vendors, or you go to the deli, and you would give me a bacon, egg, and cheese. What's the best
English
bread
muffin.
option?
English muffin.
Bagel, hands down.
Okay, Shu,
It's a
know
bacon,
this, Shu. This is New York.
It's a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
Yes, I'm going with
I
that
had
too.
one today, actually, from a place near my house.
But I guess around 1 in 7 people said none of those. That doesn't make sense. But English muffin came in number 1.
Yeah, it's English muffin.
Another thing I saw, it's going crazy online, and maybe you've seen this, Jax, because you're on. There's a trend that they want you to wash your shredded cheese before you put it on your nachos,
2.
on your chips.
Wash your shredded cheese?
Yeah,
we put it in a cauldron and just rinse it out or whatever.
I guess
rinse it out.
I guess all these cheese companies use like some cornstarch or potato starch or something like powdered, all this stuff, and it's supposed to help clean out that all that crap that's supposed to be part of the cheese. And then you dry it. You rinse it in water, then you dry it with a paper towel, and the water, you'll see the water being all cloudy.
Wow.
Too much work.
Yeah, I'll never look at shredded cheese any differently than that, right? That there's stuff in your shredded cheese.
Wouldn't it be messy?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man.
I would actually rather buy the block cheese and shred it myself than do all that work.
Yeah,
good idea.
That's a good question. Wonder if you have to wash the block. Probably not.
Well, no, it depends on. So I think it depends on the cheese, because if I remember correctly, some of the shredded cheese. Again, I'm now a Star Wars expert and a shredded cheese expert here in this segment of the show.
Thank you.
I believe some of the shredded cheese has like wood chips in it, which are edible, but they're to preserve the cheese. And so I think maybe that's why they do it. But if you get block cheese and good block cheese, it doesn't have that in there. So when you shred it, it should be okay.
What do you do for for fun, Shu?
I mean, I watch Star Wars and I shred my own cheese.
He shreds his own cheese. He's a shredded cheese connoisseur.
Oh,
Who
well,
knew?
that segment is brought to you by G2G Protein Bars. If you'd like to win one or win protein bars for an entire year, just text G2G to 59925. You can enter daily to increase your chances. That's G2G to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. G2G Protein Bars
20.
now available in the refrigerated section in Costco. Jack's Rewind is coming up. Plus, we're going to have a little flashback Friday with Howard Balzer.
10.
Roc and Manuch with Toyota.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
If you haven't tried G2G protein bars, today is the day. Find them in your local Costco's refrigerated section or online at g2gbar.com. Incredible taste and packed with protein. They are perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Check them out today.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hello, Phoenix. We have some exciting news. Local high school sports has a new home right here on Fox Sports 910 AM. The Coach B and Eternal radio show can now be heard right here on Fox Sports 910 every Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Brandon Raffy. Here at Raffy Law Group, we understand that auto accidents can be a traumatic experience. That's why we're available 24/7 just for you. If you or a loved one has been hurt in an auto accident, call Raffy.
Call Raffy. Rappy, rappy, I'm calling Rappy, rappy. Rappy, rappy. 623-388-4333. Call Rappy, rappy. Call Rappy, rappy. Rappy, rappy, I'm calling Rappy, rappy. Call Rappy, rappy.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar. Dukes on Miller and McDowell. With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shots it!
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Rappy Law Group studio. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
For a day off, the Diamondbacks open a home series with their division rival Padres this evening. The Snakes are 14-18 on the season. They'll give the ball to Slade Ciccone. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 2.25. The D-backs have won just 5 of their last 14. Defensive lineman Zach Swanson is transferring from Texas to Arizona State. The former Brophy star goes 6'4" and 282. Also committing to the Sun Devils 2025 recruiting class, a 3-star O-lineman out of Utah, Rob Lapuaho. After 2 seasons, the Lakers fire Coach Darvin Ham. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword brand at foxsports910.com. That's at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the upper 60s. And then for your Saturday, breezy conditions, slightly cooler with temperatures in those low 90s with mostly sunny skies. For the
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
You're hot.
Fox Sports 910.
Got some D-back baseball this weekend downtown as a Chase Field 3-game series with San Diego. They are in town. And we are a week away from the Cardinals rookie mini camp. Looking forward to that, to get an opportunity, a first look to see first-round pick Marvin Harrison Jr. and the rest of the first-year players. OTAs will begin later this month. And how about ASU? They got a Texas transfer, former Texas defensive lineman Zach Swanson, who played locally at Brophy. He is committed to the Sun Devils.
That's a good pickup for the Sun Devils. Coming back home, kid was absolute stud at Brophy, and good for him to go on to Texas. But sometimes you get caught up, whatever reason, the other guys start playing in front of you. He will come. He was kind of a play guy, and I'm sure that him coming out of the portal could be you making some decent money on top of that. But he was outstanding at Brophy. Nice to see him coming home to the home front.
Absolutely. On the national level, Darvin Ham has been fired after 2 years as the head coach of the LA Lakers. And now we'll hear a lot of it. Who's going to be next in line? Is it J.J. Redick? Is it Tyronn Lue? I mean, there's all these names that are surfacing to be essentially the assistant coach to LeBron James.
Mike Budenholzer. You know what? It's amazing to me that Ham would be fired. I mean, you took me NBA from the wild card to the Western Conference Finals last year. to this year, having taken on Denver again after getting into the playoff situation after another wild card, and pretty much taking them to the mat. I think they only got blown out one game out of the 5 games. I just don't understand. I mean, what this is the 8th coach in 14 years for this LA Lakers franchise. And to your point, Rock, you might be right. Maybe LeBron is going to keep changing shoes until one fits, right? Well, they won it with Frank Vogel a few years ago when they were in the bubble. I thought what Ham did with this team the last 2 years was great. Does Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers, feel, well, there's more talent there, we should get more out of it? It's about the players. And I know that Davis was probably healthier this year than he was the last several years. But you got to remember, LeBron's getting a little older. I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's kind of like, okay, he didn't get us there. Let's go take it. Let's go see what the flavor of the week is. Is it Redick? Is it Budenholzer? Is it Ty Lue? Do we bring him in? It's just crazy. It's just nuts to see what's going on in LA.
The big story in Major League Baseball hasn't been, okay, games are a little shorter now, attendance is up. It is the player uniforms. It's been an issue, and today Major League Baseball and Nike announced that they are going to have some adjustments to the uniforms, but not today, not tomorrow, but for next season.
So I didn't understand the whole uniform thing. I didn't even notice a change.
Chris Schubert knows a lot about cheese. There's a lot about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is probably up there on the top of what you watch and what you read when it comes to.
Well, what's the deal with the unis?
This is a uniform nightmare, and it's soon going to be over, it sounds like.
Yeah, at the risk of making myself sound more nerdy than I did in the last segment, I do know a lot about these jerseys. And one of the things they wanted to do, guys, was they wanted to make them more breathable for the players. And this is a new uniform with Nike, and I think it's Fanatics are the two companies that are working together on this. And they wanted the jersey to be more breathable, but they also wanted to make the Major League Baseball logo on the back of the jersey more visible. So if you guys will remember, the old jerseys, the MLB logo was up towards like the top of the jersey where your neck sits.
Never took of it.
Nobody. I didn't notice that, the shoe.
Well,
you're acting like we knew that.
I will tell you, because they've lowered it, I don't know, a couple of inches. That's why the letters are smaller on the back. Like, that's the reason why.
So you mean the nameplates on the back?
Yes, where the names would be. The reason why those letters are smaller and they look, very amateurish is because they wanted to lower the MLB logo to make it bigger. So they are changing all of that with the jerseys. And then not to mention the see-through pants fiasco that we had in spring training that they are worrying about. Also, I'll just talk about my team specifically. The New York Mets have jersey combinations that they have not been able to wear this season because the pants aren't right. They don't match the jersey color. So they have entire jersey uniform combinations that they have not been able to use this season. This has been a disaster for Major League Baseball. It has been a disaster for the Players Union. It has been a disaster for Nike, who just signed this big deal with Major League Baseball for this. It has been a disaster across the board.
I'm seeing stories that, after these uniforms are soaked with sweat, they discolor. They change
Carlos
their
Rodon.
color.
It's pretty cheap uniform right there.
Carlos Rodon, in his first start of the year in Houston, when they were playing in the Astros, he was wearing the jersey. And the idea was when we got to the summer, the jersey would be more breathable and it would be better. If you go and if you search it up, Carlos Rodon Astros start, you'll probably find the picture, and he is drenched in sweat. Like, the jersey is completely see-through because of how just much he sweat through the jersey in the first start of the year. So, yeah, not a good look.
Whoops. Little faux pas here. Yeah. Hey, manufacturer. Hey, Nike.
Here's what I don't understand. They're saying maybe the second half of the season that they'll get implemented.
Sure.
Some of them anyway. Maybe the road jerseys will get done. Who knows what's going to happen, but it'll all be fixed for next year.
Major League Baseball. How does this happen?
That's my whole point. As big as Nike is, not like just some little embroidery place down the street on Bell Road. It's Nike.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think that they could turn this around in 2 weeks?
Or don't they have how about let's just do like a test market in spring training so these uniforms work before we convert completely over to them to see how they breathe. Some down Florida gets hot enough. I mean, do you think they would do some kind of, or did they do a test market on, I don't know, some colleges or high schools to say, hey, let's check these unis out to see if it actually works at the major league level?
The thing, I don't understand is the outrage of players and even fans that have a problem with it.
Oh, I mean,
I don't get it. Like,
who
who cares?
I hate them, right? And it's just
Listen to
personal.
you, right? You're one of those fans. You're
won't
outraged.
I won't buy a new jersey if they continue to have these letters on the back. I just think they look too small. They look like something I could do in my backyard.
Okay, that's why. But it's not like you're going to play. It's not like you're playing softball with your Met jersey or Lindor jersey, right?
But
I mean, it's
but
like
you're going to charge me, $150+ for a jersey, and it looks like something. No offense to my 9-year-old, if she happens to be listening in the car, something my 9-year-old would have made, right? It just doesn't look good for what you're charging me for, and I think that's what bothers people. It just doesn't look like, and I sound like the old baseball guy, even though I try not to be this. It doesn't look like the old school jersey with the stitching and the letter. Like, it just doesn't look like that anymore. It looks very amateurish, and so that's where I'm just not going to spend $150+ on a jersey. I just won't do it.
That's fair. I mean, that's very fair. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you want the crisp, the clean type of jersey.
Got to tell you, didn't care what jerseys they were wearing yesterday when they walked off against the Chicago Cubs. Didn't matter to me.
It didn't matter, of course.
Lindor
Lindor with that double. MLB, speaking of them, and Roku are in talks to make the service the new home for Sunday morning baseball. What do you think about that?
Sunday morning, bright and early.
Sunday morning baseball.
A little brunch baseball. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
I don't know what time.
First
I mean,
pitch.
12:30 would be, I believe, when they want these to start.
So-
They had this deal with Peacock
Yes.
originally for $30 million, and Peacock went to them and said, yeah, we don't want that contract anymore. And so now they're going to work with Roku on a deal. Now, we don't know if it's going to be free because Roku doesn't really have a lot of content like this. So this is their first kind of dipping their toe into live content. So I don't know how readily available it is. For Peacock, you had to have a subscription to be able to see those games. We don't know how it's going to work with Roku.
Because Roku's free. So for most, right? I mean, I have it
Yes.
on my stuff.
Yes.
I guess what I read was, according to The Athletic, that they are going to be produced by one of the production arms of the Major League Baseball network.
Just like the Diamondbacks and the
Yes.
Rockies and all these teams that used to be with Bally's, Major League Baseball is producing them. They're going to do this for Roku because Roku doesn't have that production set up just yet.
I don't know. It's so early. I mean, most games will start 1 o'clock, 12:30, half hour early. That's early.
Okay, but no, that's 9:30 here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So
I see what you're saying.
depending
Yeah.
on where you're at,
I
from,
get it.
West of the Mississippi,
Yeah, it's
you're
true.
getting morning baseball.
Yeah.
I take it back 11:30. 11:30 is when these games would start.
Okay, so that's 8:30.
8:30. That is early.
I don't have a problem. I mean, it's typically on a morning you're watching. At least for me, I'm watching the news shows.
Yeah.
You got the ABC, NBC. They got all the Fox. They got all this different morning Sunday shows.
Sure. Yeah.
That's where a lot of stuff is happening. I wish they would move back Sunday night game of the week.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I used to love that.
1 minute.
Well, no, they already have it. What I'm saying
mean,
is,
but-
I wish it was earlier. I don't like it late. If it's 7, 8 o'clock, I want to come home and I want to watch SportsCenter and get caught up on all the action. And in these games, they'll say Van Pelt's, he's coming on at 8, but the game runs long. It's like, oh, it's 8:30.
But-
I'm like, come on. I want to get right to SportsCenter.
And usually about 6:37, you got 60 Minutes coming on. You got the
Yeah.
shows coming on. You're pretty much done with sports unless you're dialed in.
Hey, Howard Balzer's going to join us in about 15 minutes. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Sportsbookie Casino Arizona. Bet the game, watch the game. They have 3 live betting windows, 6 self-service betting kiosks, plus 8 screens displaying all the betting lines. Check it out for yourself. It's also the home of Take the Points, which will be on right after Backspin the Golf Show tomorrow at 11 a.m. till 1, and they are going to really be all over the Kentucky Derby. So make sure you tune in or stop by, say hello in the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Well, it's Jacks and Shoes Rewind next on Fox Sports 910.
Clear. Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Valley Freeway's looking good so far. There are a few brake lights in downtown Phoenix on 10 eastbound from 19th Avenue over to the Deck Park. Same thing westbound 10 coming off the mini stack over to about 7th Avenue. A crash on 23rd Avenue and turning.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and electronic device insurance. And for your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fog Co., the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fog Co. transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state, and with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
The D-backs host the Padres for a 3-game series starting tonight. Slade Ciccone is on the mound for Arizona. Brittany Griner and the Mercury just a few days away from tipping off the preseason. The Merc will visit the Seattle Storm Tuesday in the first of 2 preseason games. The Lakers firing Coach Darvin Ham after 2 seasons. Ham had 2 years remaining on his contract. He did guide the team to the inaugural in-season tournament title. I'm Frank Garrity.
This is 3-time Pro Bowler LeVar Arrington. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
In case you missed this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jack puts it all together, the best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's shows. This is Jackson's Rewind, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
All right, the way this works is Jax and the rest of this team kind of get together on Friday morning and kind of
just me and Shu.
Yeah,
that's the team.
Yeah, and they re-listen to all 3 hours every day.
Every day, man.
And then they find some nuggets to kind of toss to us and have some fun. And what's good about I think this week, I was only here Monday, so there's nothing on me.
You're not in it.
Yeah, I'm really never on it. So I mean, it's really the Jimmy B rewind. In most cases, right?
This week, yeah, it is.
I mean,
this week,
he's comedic, he's funny, makes some dumb moments. That
actually all 5 of these are him.
Oh, there's 5?
Yeah, we've got 5.
Because it's funny because I was doing this Fiesta Bowl stuff, and I saw some people I haven't seen in a while. They're like, dude, like first of all, they're like, how tall is that number 3 you have, Jimmy?
Jimmy
and,
B guy.
And they all want to know how old he is, and we all know that Jimmy will not tell us how old he is. We really don't know.
We don't.
We don't.
No, he tells us. He just says he's 130 and
Yeah,
he thinks
so
he's funny,
yeah,
but I mean, we don't
getting
really
old,
know.
like him. So anyway, all right, Jax.
All right, first one. This involves Shu actually roasting Jimmy B during 2 Mondays ago of Jimmy B saying 2 words very improperly.
It's time.
Okay,
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Chris Schubert. It's not breaking news, but he needs some time.
Yeah,
He
I do.
needs some time on the show right now.
Yeah,
So
I need about 2 minutes, and that's what we have left in the segment
All right.
because during the week, Jax does a great job of this. I also take note of things that could ultimately end up in the rewind at the end of the week. Now, there are people who think that I have a feud ongoing with Jimmy B, and I'm going to attempt to use these last 2 minutes of this segment to put that to bed. I want to put this feud that people think Jimmy and I have to rest. So, Jimmy, I'm going to play you 2 clips. These are 2 things you said that came out of your mouth during our G2G segment earlier. I'm going to give you an opportunity to clear the air here before these make it into the rewind on Friday. So this is before. I'm giving you an opportunity before they make it into the rewind on Friday. You have an opportunity now to answer for this because this first one, I have no idea what you are trying to say.
Divorce.
What's a divorce? What is a divorce? It's a divorce. He had a divorce. He didn't have a
divorce.
He didn't have a divorce. So please.
You just misspeak, Jimmy. That's all.
Okay. You know what?
You can't chime in, Manuch.
No, it came out that way. It's a great point by you. Maybe he just misspoke. Well, this is what happened 10 seconds later.
No, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Who's that? Who is that, Jimmy B? I don't know what team he plays for.
So funny, shoot. When he said it, I'm like, I have no room to correct him because I can't even say my own name.
You and I would have thought he said it correctly because we wouldn't know.
You know how much difficulty I have just talking.
Your articulation.
I'm so bad.
I still think there's a feud between Shu and Jimmy B.
No, well, I kind of played it up a little bit. Yeah,
Just keep
Well,
going.
Well, and listen, this Jax, I'll set this next one up because this is why there's a feud because he does things like this to me.
I've got a quick, and it's only for me. Shu is Hunter Wendelstedt the son of Harry Wendelstedt, the longtime Major League Baseball umpire?
I have no idea, Jimmy B. If you give me the break, I can get that answer to you.
And how would that change your day if you knew that?
I was,
the hell is that guy doing in here?
I was just curious because
Let me ask you this: I bought you your own computer.
Yes, I
You
use
don't
it all
do
the
any
time.
prep. You don't add anything to the show.
I do.
Why couldn't you just Google that right away?
Google Harry Wendelstedt.
Yeah, so that is his father, who was the National League umpire from 1966 to
There you go.
1998.
Don't
They're
enable
actually-
him.
He's
Yes.
named. His actual name is Harry Hunter Wendelstedt III. He goes by his middle name to avoid confusion with his dad. So thanks, Jimmy B, for making us a minute late for the break and information that nobody needed.
That was
today.
Doesn't matter what you know, you
that.
know, but it's the way it should be, but not with Jimmy B.
I'm so glad I know that.
Oh, I can't wait. That's gonna make best of.
Are we better for knowing that now?
Well, and I believe the
gosh.
context is we were talking about a call that because he threw out Aaron Boone, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was the umpire that threw out Aaron Boone. Like, why can we focus on that? Why do we have to know about his dad being an umpire? Like, it was just he completely just derailed us for no reason.
A name dropper, and I bet he was a jock.
Such a
sniffer.
schmoozer.
Jock sniffer.
Yeah.
Totally.
Speaking of Jimmy B jock sniffing, anytime we have a sponsor, Jimmy B just wants to let everyone know that he loves the drink. And for this clip right here, he loves F3 Energy.
Well, can I just say this since we're talking about the energy drink F3? I'm having the citrus, and it's good. Let me ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're such a kiss ass.
Sometimes.
You've been brown nosing every time we have some product.
Yeah.
You don't think people read through it like,
No.
oh, he's getting paid to do it,
No,
or
I'm not getting paid.
he gets free products, so he's going to talk about it.
Not getting
You,
paid. I don't
for
get a
some
free
reason, when we promote the Roc and Manuch lager,
I
you
love that.
always have to
No, it's
say,
the amber.
and you've only had a sip. You've only had the amber.
The amber's good. I haven't had the lager. I've had
This
the
is
amber.
coming from a guy that drinks one beer and he's smashed,
If
right?
that. Much, yeah. If that.
That is so true.
It's I think most people that understand when people are endorsing products,
Sure.
okay, you get paid. F3 was just sponsoring our Rampage interview, right? And our day out at Twin Peaks. And we just handed one to him just to drink. We weren't asking for an endorsement.
That was not part of the deal that he had to talk about F3 Energy in that segment. Now, speaking of the Rampage interview,
As we let you go, give us a Mr. T
Yes.
call out or
Shut up.
Did you just say Jimmy B? Shut up, fool.
Jimmy B, shut up, sucker. Hey, I didn't use no.
No, that's all right, man. That was directed at me, and I loved it.
All
That's Jimmy B. Good
I
job.
loved it.
Oh man,
Good for you,
So-
Rock, to be in the moment and say, we got a special
That's
guest on
good.
here, Rampage Jackson. We need some more sounds on the board for Mr. Schubert.
Well, I felt bad for Manuch kind of gave Jimmy B the Heisman because when Rampage sat with us, it was me, Rampage, Manuch, and we had another headset that was for Jimmy B. But Manuch pulled it away, and he's sitting there, missed the first segment, and I could tell he was like a little dog, a little puppy dog in the corner. Oh, I want to interview Rampage, so I could tell him that I met him 10 years ago at some freaking coffee shop.
He volunteered to give up the headset and then all of a sudden he's here and he wanted back.
Well, I put him in. I'm like, Jimmy, get on the you're part of the show.
And he asked some great questions. He
great stuff.
He
I mean,
helped the interview along, but
Big time.
your name's on the show, man. Like, just ask. Like, it's not.
He was like, well, Manuch said
No, I did. I said
What he
I'll
said.
back out. I'll back out. Well, what a
3.
lot of stuff Jimmy says is off the wall.
All right, we've got one more clip here, and we've got 3 minutes left in this segment. It's a 2-minute clip, and this is where
man.
I had to cut it off because Manuch knows what I'm about to play. It could have been 5 minutes. So, again, bad things happen when you guys come to the studios. I don't know what it is about the studio, just bad things happen when you guys come here. So, we're doing the Football at 50 for the final segment of the show. We've done 2+ hours of radio at this point. Now, I want everybody to listen because Manuch sometimes doesn't, he trips over his words sometimes. I think it's very clear what Manuch is trying to do here and what he's asking Jimmy B. Jimmy B clearly didn't hear him, and chaos ensues.
And Travis Kelce moved ahead of Jerry Rice for the most receptions in postseason
I heard this
history
live. It's great.
during these past 2023 playoffs. Kelsey's got 165. Jerry Rice, how many do you think he's got, Jimmy?
Jerry Rice.
How many postseason catches do you think he's got? If Travis
2 minutes.
charge at 165,
Yeah,
how many do you think Jerry's got?
over 200.
No, I just said Travis Kelce leads the charge at 165.
322. Jerry
Okay,
Rice.
can I do it one more time?
You know what? Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. If we're gonna do this, do this right. We get the music out of here.
Yeah.
All right. You want the whole thing? You want the whole shebang here, Manuch?
Yes.
All right. Here you go.
Let's get ready for football.
Football at 50. The latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910 and the iHeart Radio app.
Welcome to a little football 50.
422.
Chiefs signed Travis Kelce a 2-year, $22.5 million contract. Man's going to get paid basically $17 million of that guaranteed. And we were talking about how the playoffs, he's one of the all-time tight ends of all time.
You got a cool trivia question for me?
Yeah, I
Manuch?
do.
Okay.
You guys, riddle me this.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
He's now passed one Jerry Rice
Wow,
most
really?
receptions in postseason history.
Wow.
Travis Kelce moved ahead.
Okay.
Moved ahead
Okay.
of Jerry Rice, the most receptions in postseason history during the 2023 playoffs. So
Right.
Kelce currently has 165 at this point in time. Jimmy, how many receptions do you think Jerry Rice?
207.
Okay. All right. Did I mention that Travis Kelce moved ahead of Jerry Rice? So if he's got 165,
I want to play.
yeah, go ahead.
I
I'll
don't.
try you.
Jimmy B's ruining the fun. I'd like to play.
Yeah. How many do you think?
136.
You're close.
Okay, better than the 207 guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The phrase "moved ahead"
was what helped me.
moved
Yeah.
ahead. Okay.
You just can't make it up.
Attaboy,
You just can't. I'm standing here and I'm watching Manuch and I'm looking at him and he's giving the trivia question and it's very clear to me what he's looking for. Jimmy B just absolutely wasn't paying attention and said 207. And Manuch just looked at me and then you just saw what happened. We just went with it and chaos ensued. But it's just unbelievable. The last segment of the show and he's just not paying attention. Just not paying attention to anything Manuch is saying.
I said, "Where'd you go, Jimmy? He was there for half a count. Where were you at?"
And honestly, it wasn't like he was in his computer because I'm looking right at him. He was, I think, involved in the segment. I don't know what happened.
The lights were on, but nobody was home, Rock, for about 3 minutes.
Here's what's sad about this. We don't know how old. I mean, come on. Like, I know family members. It's serious stuff when people get older. You forget things. You You wander.
Rocky was 4 feet away from me.
Listening. I think he was even staring at Manuch when he asked him the question.
He was looking right at me like,
I just feel bad. We just
great job, Shu. Because I don't feel
pile on him, man.
I don't feel bad at all because he brings it on himself because he's in studio. There's not if they were at Toyota or somewhere, I could understand the distraction because there's
Twin
people.
Peaks.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a room. I'm staring at the seat that he's sitting in. There's nothing in there to be distracted by.
And he doesn't use his computer for anything.
No.
So, and I looked at Shu these last couple. I looked at Shu and went, "Wait a second, is this real?" I mean, but he literally had, I don't know, drifted off somewhere. I don't know where the hell he went. Sometimes
he was thinking about his days playing tennis with Jimmy Connors. Or better yet, Arthur Ashe. He goes way back.
Oh, man.
Hey, it's a Flashback Friday, and help us celebrate. Howard Balzer's going to join us next. You may not know, he's been coming on our show for many years. And what you may not know about Howard is he was part of ESPN's first ever draft broadcast. He ended up doing it for the next 8 years. I know we're going to talk some draft with him, but I really want to go back in time with him because it just popped in one of my feeds this morning, and I was just like, we got to talk to him about that and the resources he had. And, there was a talk that they were basically in the Sheraton in New York, and they were just at like an 8-foot table, and it was just very different than what we see now when you got 750,000 people watching, or in person there. So anyway, we'll do that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Clear. What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
Lake Sakona gets the start for the Diamondbacks tonight as they entertain the Padres, who will counter with Dylan Cease. NBA playoffs today, the Cavaliers will call on the Magic, and the Clippers are in Dallas. Cleveland and the Mavericks will close out the series with wins. Darvin Ham has been fired as head coach by the Lakers after 2 seasons and 2 playoff appearances, but a record of 9-12 in those games. NHL Vancouver up 3-2 skates in Nashville, while the Stars ahead 3-2 are in Vegas. Cardinals rookie minicamp all set to run next Friday through Sunday. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the upper 60s. And then for your Saturday, breezy conditions, slightly cooler with temperatures in those low 90s with mostly sunny skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Do you ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by Said by Worldwide. Well, you're fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji.
Howard's good to go.
Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
He's been covering the National Football League for close to 50 years. A longtime NFL writer, broadcaster, and Hall of Fame voter, Howard Balzer. Now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Hi, hello, and welcome to the New York Sheraton Hotel's Grand Ballroom, the site of the 1980 National Football League College Player Draft. We're planned here at the ESPN Anchor headquarters for what will be a history-making day, not only for television, but for the National Football League as well.
First round selection, Oklahoma running back, Billy Sim.
San Francisco traded its pick to the New York Jets for the Jets' 2 first-round picks. The Jets then took Lamb Jones, the great running back from Texas.
Little flashback Friday here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. And Howard Balzer, of course, been coming on with us for many years. And for some reason, so you know how stories pop up in your feeds and things like that. And a story popped up today about in my feed with the inaugural 1980 draft broadcast with ESPN. And Howard Balzer was part of that, as he was at the time the NFL editor at the Sporting News in St. Louis when the Cardinals played there. And I just thought, Howard, I know you've probably been through this many times with the story, but we really haven't had that opportunity to break it down. And when this story kind of came up on how it went down, and then you're there for 9 years, do you mind just kind of going back to how you got the call? Because I think people don't realize that you were one of the first to put a mock draft together in the United States. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a so is that story that popped up, is that the one that I actually wrote?
No, you did not write it. I don't recall who wrote it, and I just cut and pasted some of it for my notes here today. So it started with one of Fitz's production assistants called Howard Balzer.
Right. No, exactly. I'd love to see that story, because I did write about it last week, and it was on the Cards Wire. It was also in Jason Barrett's website that he has, a media website. Yeah, and the call I got, it was, I'd only been at the Sporting News at that time for 2 years in 1980, and I was a young 29-year-old pup at the time, and so I had just started. I didn't go to the Sporting News to do the NFL. It was mainly to work on all their statistical books. But then in my second year there, I suggested kind of boldly to the managing editor that I think we need to cover the NFL more. And there's a lot of stuff going on, especially in the off season, that we don't cover. And I think we should devote a page to it. And the managing editor at the time, a guy named Lowell Ridenbaugh, said to me, well, okay, I can see that. Who can we get to do it? Because for those who know the Sporting News from the old days, most of the writing was done by writers from other cities and newspapers and things like that. So I suggested, well, I could do it. And he said, okay, give it a shot. And so I started doing a weekly page. That was in 1979. And then the next year, ESPN announces it's going to be on the draft. And so I get this call from a producer for Bill Fitz, an assistant to him, who says, we would like to use your mock draft on the show. And would we be able to do that? So I said, yeah, sure, we'd have no problem. But I just want to send a word of caution your way, because we know how mock drafts can blow up very quickly. And so you could be sitting there, or you could be at the 5th or 6th pick, and, guys are still there that, they still haven't been drafted, that were picked in the mock draft. So I said, I do some local radio in St. Louis. Maybe you could set up a phone connection and come to me every now and then, and we'll, talk about who's gone, who's there, and, whatever you want to do. So that's not a bad thought. Let me get back to you. He gets back to me and says, how'd you like to come to Bristol, Connecticut, of course, where ESPN is located? How'd you like to come to Bristol and be on the show? And that's how it was born in 1980. I was on it for 9 years. And the crazy thing, guys, is that I came across a few years ago, The Athletic did a retrospective on that first draft on the 40th anniversary. And they actually came up. It was amazing. You have that sound. That was tremendous to hear that. They had a picture of the group that I was with in Bristol, which included the anchor Bob Lee, who of course spent many years there, along with Vince Papale, the Philadelphia Eagles player who had just played in the couple years before that when he made the team on a tryout. And of course, they did a movie on him.
Yeah, bartender in Philly.
Upton Bell, who was doing some media in the New England area, which is where ESPN was located. And his father, Bert Bell, was once an owner of the Eagles, and then also became the commissioner of the NFL back in the 30s or the 40s. So anyway, this story has a picture of us sitting there at a coffee table with our chairs all pressed together. Talk about a bare bones TV set. It's a coffee table, and there's papers on the table, and there's newspapers on the floor. I mean, it was tremendous seeing that photo. And so, yeah, that was the first year of it. We all were flying by the seat of our pants, basically, and didn't know what the reaction was going to be. What are people going to think of this? I mean, it was pure talking heads TV for a lot of hours, because the voice you just heard, that was George Grand. He was in New York with Joe Thomas, the former NFL general manager. And then they had a reporter going into the balcony at the hotel to talk with the fans that were there, mostly Giants or Jets fans. And that was essentially it. I mean, there was no cameras at teams. There was hardly any highlights, because ESPN had just gone on the air the previous September. And so it was just, so we had no idea what the reaction was going to be. But the thing I always say to everybody is, the most important thing is they decided to do it again the next year. So I guess we did good enough to bring it back, because if they hadn't, who knows what would have happened, down the road. But, here we are today with, hundreds of thousands in the streets of the cities that they do it in, and 3 networks televising it. It's pretty incredible from where it was 44 years ago. And it's always humbling and an honor to have been a part of the first one.
So you're the godfather, we could say, of the first mock draft, Howard?
Well, I guess you could. It was interesting because in all the years I did it, I did a couple years in Bristol, then I went to New York for a couple years.
Sure.
And then when they started going to team facilities in 1985, I was at the 49ers headquarters, and that was the year they drafted Jerry Rice. Another year, oddly enough, I was at the Rams in 1988, about 7 years before they moved to St. Louis. But the real funny story is that Mel Kiper joined in 1984, and he was in Bristol, and I think it was 86 when they had me in New York standing with Chris Berman at this huge draft board, right, with big names, and they would come to us every now and then. Chris wasn't hosting it yet. They would come to us at different times about, okay, this guy's on the board, but he hasn't been taken yet, and we'd comment on it or whatever. It was this huge board. No one knew who put it together. So after the draft, they would always ask us all, well, send in a note if what you thought about it, what you think we can improve on, things we can change. And I said, well, we're doing this board and talking about it. If you're going to do that again, we should identify who it's with. And the suggestion is it should be Mel Kiper's board, because that's what he does. I mean, and they agreed with it, and that was the birth of Mel's Big Board after that first year. So yeah, there was a lot of amazing memories from those years in the 80s of being on the different shows, to being on different places, and doing it for the 9 years that I did.
Was Jimmy B there? Because he's if you listen to the show on a daily basis, he's been part of everything in the world. So, and of those 9 years, was Jimmy B there? I mean, doing any? Because I know you've done shows with Jimmy, and was he part of that in any way?
I don't recall him being there. Paul McGuire was on a few of them.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you, one of the things that really I thought was, showed how different things would be when it was on television is that in 1981, the second year, Paul Zimmerman of Sports Illustrated, they brought on to do analysis in New York, and he was in New York at the draft. And the sixth pick rolls around, and the Packers choose quarterback Rich Campbell from University of California at Berkeley, right? And Paul, who had been covering the draft, he might have done mock drafts, back in the day when Sporting News was and all that. And he would always talk to different GMs at the league meetings in March and get their feeling on players. So when it came time to write about the draft, he would have some good information to part. And everybody was always, would pretty much give him the truth, because there wasn't the subterfuge and all that was going on then. Mm-hmm. And so they pick Campbell, and they come to Paul Zimmerman, and he goes, "They lied to me. I'll never talk to them again."
Wow.
Right on the air.
Right on the airwaves.
Right on the air, right on TV, because he's saying, the Packers told me they weren't interested in Rich Campbell. And so that was the first message that, well, teams aren't going to be straight with anybody anymore, because the interest in the draft is building and it's on TV. And so we're just going to be very, very, very tight to the vest in terms of what we tell the media.
Howard, thanks for a little flashback there here on a Friday. We appreciate it. I just, like I said, it popped up on my feed. I'll send it to you. And because it was just like, oh, we got to dive into that. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Appreciate it. Always appreciate bringing it up. Always love talking about it. I'll give you one last line. When ESPN didn't know that draft was being done until they didn't even approach it until February, 2 months before the draft. They came up with this idea and approached Pete Rozelle, the commissioner. And when they said what they wanted to do and televise the draft, and Pete Rozelle said, "Why in the world would you want to do that? Who would want to watch the draft?"
Wow.
And here we are.
Famous last words, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Have a good weekend, Howard. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Howard Balzer. Little flashback Friday here with Roc and Manuch. Appreciate it. I'm sure if Jimmy was here, he would have piped in somehow that he was doing a stand-up in Buffalo in 1980, and they went to him to get his take on a pick.
And then
shut up, sucker.
And he did some of those Billy Sims football games.
Oh yeah,
when he was in Detroit.
Yes. One more to go. We're out here, Right Toyota. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Rock, Fox Sports 910.
Clear traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
101 southbound near Indian School Road. There's an accident blocking 2 right lanes. Also an accident reported 10 westbound near Buckeye Road. Also 10 eastbound. This is the off-ramp to 7th Street, where we also have a crash.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Done having more kids? Time for a vasectomy? Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM. Most men can even return to work the next day. Purely Vasectomies has 3 Valley locations. They give the option for same-day consultation and procedure. That's purelyvasectomies.com or 844-NO-SPERM.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
In a recent survey, when people were asked who they thought the best personal injury attorney in Arizona was, more than 9 out of 10 people chose Lerner & Rowe. In fact, Lerner & Rowe has been voted best personal injury attorney in Arizona for the past 9 years. Our experience, reputation, and proven results have made it possible for us to recover billions of dollars for over 150,000 injured people. At Lerner & Rowe, getting you the best result is what we do best. Hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle wreck and need a check? Call us today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Beat the heat with a patio misting system from Fogco. Let Fogco design the perfect misting system for your patio, pool, or leisure areas. Stay cool all summer with Fogco patio misters. Get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com. Fogco, serving the Valley for over 35 years.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan, and an amazing price with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely.
Totalmente.
Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay, plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
You're hot. Appreciate Howard Balzer for joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, brought to you by All City Towing. If you are looking for a new career, maybe looking to get a new job, well, they're hiring. They're always looking for new people to join their team. Just go to allcitytowing.com and search careers. And they Better Business Rating, A. I mean, they do a great job. And if you are looking to work for a company like that does a lot of community outreach, then All City Towing you should look at. Go to the website, allcitytowing.com. Tonight on What's on Tap, D-backs and the Padres. First pitch will be at 6:40 on Cox Channel 34 and dbacks.tv. So that is your What's on Tap locally. Of course, you got NBA playoffs going on. That's a big deal. NHL as well. If you hadn't heard today, the big story was that Darvin Ham has been fired by the Lakers. Tyronn Lue is still with the Clippers, but a lot of rumors that he may be heading over to the Lakers, or he could come here to the Phoenix Suns.
Well, and you got J.J. Redick is trending. Mike Budenholzer is trending out there as well. Speaking of the D-backs, our State 40 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. And to answer this, all I got to do is just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Do you feel the D-backs will be able to make a wild card run with all the early season injuries? You can answer yes, it's early, or no, already 5.5 behind. Leading right now, yes, it's early, 76.5, and no, already 5.5 behind, 23.5%. So some folks giving up already that they are fading with all these injuries going on.
It's interesting going back to Tyronn Lue. Is that it's almost like college sports where he's now going to get an extension, with the Clippers.
Yes.
What is it? What did you say?
I was telling you how many minutes you had left in the segment
I
in
thought
your
you said
ear.
you needed a minute. All
But
right.
now that we're just airing out the behind the scenes stuff, you got about 2.5 minutes left in the segment.
Thank you. Appreciate
Wrap it up, Rock.
Thank you. I'll make the rewind. Yeah. So, hey, if you missed anything, you go to rockandmanuch.com or podcast up on the iHeartRadio platform.
It just amazed me. The Lakers, what is this now? 8 coaches in 14 years. The guy takes them to the Western Conference Finals last year via the wild card. They win the wild card round. They take on the Nuggets and pretty much challenge the Nuggets all the way, the world champions.
Yeah.
Get beat, 4-1. And I guess that's not good enough. Or I think what you've been alluding to all day, Rock, is I guess wasn't good enough for LeBron James, and he wants somebody else to come in. They did a phenomenal job.
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. 2 minutes left in the segment
this year. Thank you. We got it. We appreciate it. Yeah. Way to be vocal.
You can tell it's a Friday.
Right?
You wonder if Ham getting fired is Ishbia is looking at it like, all right, it's not a big deal if I make a move. I mean, is Ham the scapegoat? Does Vogel need to be a scapegoat on what we saw this year?
I think that for the whole Vogel thing, it's kind of a two-way street. I think the player have a lot to blame with this. And we had Gerald Bourguet on the other day, kind of hinted that there was some tension that Rocket could see it.
Yeah.
There's something was amiss with this team. But if you're the leader of that team and you got these big three, you guys got to shake it. They got to shake it off and figure out a way. Vogel can only do so much. But on the other side, we saw lack of defense, and Vogel was defensive guru. So there's a blame to go around, Rock. I mean, and then on top of it, James Jones is very culpable with all this as well, too. Did he give them the right guys? I mean, you brought these bench guys in. What bench?
One.
So they're going to have to make some moves as far as that bench is concerned to get some more scoring and more productivity.
I'll tell you, next head coach, I don't know somewhere, but I think Miles Simon, more you hear him,
sharp.
The fact that he was assistant, got a ring with the Lakers, then he went on and coached their G League team and had success. He's been assistant here. He was assistant at Arizona for many years just too. But watch out. I think he's the guy that's
up and comer.
His radar. Yeah,
he's up and
30.
Comer. Well, and I will say this: I think Ishbia is going to leave it as is, but they got to make some changes as far as bringing some more personnel for that bench.
Backspin the Golf Show begins tomorrow at 9:20, followed by Take the Points with Jax, Bauer, and Gross from Casino, Arizona. Appreciate you hanging out with us this week. We'll do it again on Monday from the CA Sports Bar.
10.
For our friends here at Wright Toyota, for Jack, Shu, Manuch,